live from Red Devil Field here on the campus of Germantown High School in Germantown, Tennessee. It's Germantown Red Devil football. GHS TV, Cable Channel 7, is proud to present tonight's game, the second of the 1982 season between the Germantown High School Red Devils and the Christian Brothers High School Purple Wave from Memphis. We've got a number 9 team against a number 2 team tonight, a very exciting football game. Weather conditions appear to be ideal now. Earlier in the day, it appeared that the clouds were rolling in, the possibility of some rain, but things have cleared off. A little wind tonight, but I don't think the weather will affect either team. Field conditions are ideal. Looking for an exciting football game tonight. Hello, everyone. This is John Jolly, along with Greg Dennis and Hart Toller, with our sideline play-by-play man, Mr. Jim Gentry. We welcome you to Red Devil Field, to tonight's exciting football game. We're real happy to be back with you again, and I'd like now to ask Hart Toller to come in for some comments on tonight's ball game.
Thank you, John. It's a pleasure to be back with you this beautiful Friday evening. I talked to Ken Netherland early this afternoon, and he says he wasn't too happy with the scrimmage this week, but that sounds like a coach, and I believe they'll be ready to go by game time, which is about 30 minutes away. Last week I was very impressed with the ball game. I thought they did excellent execution for the first game of the season, few penalties, and the defense did well. Tonight we will be looking at a stronger team, in my opinion, and others too, being ranked 9th in the state. Tom Nix always feels a formidable football team, and tonight is to no exception. A few of the names to be looking for tonight will be Gary Bell, Greg Bell. He's a 223-pound running back, fullback, and we'll have our hands full containing Mr. Bell. Other names I'll mention later in the cable cast. Right now I'd like to get a word from Greg Dennis on the reaction from the students after the game last Friday night.
Well, Hart, students are really excited about the last game, and it was an exceptional first game. The offense was very productive. In the first half, they had 21 points. Second half, they scored 7. We would have had many more points from the offense, but several turnovers and a few penalties put us back. The offense really looked well. One thing that really excited the students was the defense. Some of the students were worried about defense being inexperienced. There was only one returning starter, number 70, Scott Tabor. But the defense played last Friday exceptionally. They held Booker T to very little yardage at all. In fact, Booker T's offense never scored on Germantown's defense. There are only points coming in on an offensive touchdown run back. Another thing the students are thinking about tonight is the rivalry between CBHS and Germantown. It's a very strong rivalry, and it's been going for many years. And tonight's game will decide the bragging rights of these two schools. So that's how the students seem to feel tonight.
Thanks a lot, Greg, for your comments. And we have a film now of the ball game last Friday night with 28-7 victory over Booker T. Washington Golden Eagles. And right now, let's roll that film from last Friday night's game.
September 3rd was the start of the 1982 Red Devil season as they played Booker T. Washington. Booker T. Washington was a very big and experienced team. Germantown was expecting a fierce contest. As we go into the first quarter, Germantown put its high-powered offense into gear. On the first play, Howard Moss took the ball around left end for 15 yards. Then Chris Coppage took the ball around right end for another 10 yards. Moss again, showing his power and speed, took the ball up the middle for a good 7 yards. And then Chris Coppage dove over the line for the touchdown. Germantown had a 6-0 lead. McPherson added the point, and Germantown was up 7-0. The next test for the Red Devils was its inexperienced defense. They showed great pursuit and gang tackling abilities. And on this play, the Germantown defense rushed the passer, took him out of the pocket, and nearly made the quarterback sack. That was the third down play, and Germantown had the ball back. Chris Coppage took the ball around right in for a nice gain, putting the ball back into Germantown territory with a chance to score. And several plays later, again Chris Coppage. He scores the touchdown and they lead 13-0. After the McPherson kick, it was 14-0, Germantown ahead. Booker T. Washington came back out and the defense did it again, showing gang tackling and pursuit, stopping the Booker T. Washingtons for no gain. Then Mark Bowen had a great interception run and back for 7 yards. Germantown was in possession again, ready to score. Again, it was Chris Coppage around the right end. Howard Moss takes the ball up the middle for a sizable gain. And then Rob Arthur, almost untouched, takes the ball around right in for a touchdown. Rob Arthur's touchdown gave Germantown the lead 21-0. Germantown was going very well, the offense moving, but Booker T. Washington on the ensuing kickoff cut the lead to 21-7. Trent Starks received the kickoff, broke through the line, and he was gone for an 82-yard touchdown run. There he goes. And just like that, Booker T. Washington was back in the game. BTW's defense came back out and held the Red Devils in check for the rest of the quarter. Germantown had the lead at halftime, 21-7. BTW came out the second half and its offense was moving. And on this next fake punt play, they gained another first down. But the Germantown defense held and they regained possession of the ball. On this third down play, Rob Arthur dropped back and threw a perfect strike to Chris Kelly. The Germantown offense was back in scoring position. Moss received this pitch out and scrambled 20 yards. Then he went up the middle, and on the next play he scored a touchdown, giving Germantown the win 28-7 over the Booker T. Washington Warriors.
Hey, looks like we got a nice crowd tonight here at Red Devil Field for the CBHS Red Devil ball game. Crowd still coming in. We looks like it could very well be a capacity crowd for tonight's football game. It's an important game, and I think right now, Hart, if you will come in here and tell us about the players of the week, we'll go to that.
Right. Before I get into the players of the week, I would like to tell everyone in the viewing audience, if you would come on out and watch this ball game. It's nothing better than watching a high school football game on a Friday evening. If not, stay tuned for our cablecast. Last week, Howard Moss, number 22, played an outstanding game, and we had a defensive player that played an outstanding game too, and I'd like to let you hear about from him in just a second here. The Germantown television sports crew each week will select an offensive and defensive player of the week. I'm not sure Howard made it, but I'm going to be putting my vote in. Let's just see how it came out. So let's roll that tape right now.
TV sports staff has selected the two most outstanding players on the Red Devil squad from last week's game against Booker T. Washington High School. Selected as most valuable offensive player was Howard Moss. In 17 carries, Moss compiled an outstanding 151 yards rushing and averaged an amazing 8.9 yards per game while scoring one touchdown. Howard is a junior tailback and has proven himself as one of the most vital parts of the Red Devil offense. We spoke to Howard about his reaction to last Friday's game.
I played pretty good. The line got off the ball and blocked pretty good, and the hole was there, and anybody can run if you got a hole.
Well, how tough do you think the Booker T. Washington defense was?
They looked tough, but they weren't as tough as they looked. They was slow, and we just had speed on them, and speed just beat them.
How confident are you with the offensive line this year?
We got a pretty decent line this year, and I'd rather run behind them than the one we had last year.
As most valuable defensive player, our staff has chosen Mark Bowen, a defensive linebacker for the Red Devils. He made his most impressive play with this interception of a Warrior pass and running it back 10 yards. He also had 7 tackles and 4 assists to make him the most obvious choice. We asked Mark about his reaction to the game and his future plans.
I made a lot of good plays, but on the outside plays and up the middle, we didn't stop them as best we could.
What expectations do you have about the CBHS team?
I think we're going to annihilate their whole offensive unit.
Do you have any other comments?
Yes, we're going to kill Chuck Alonzo and everybody else on their team.
What improvements do you think need to be made on the defensive squad?
We just need to hit harder and inflict punishment on everybody.
Congratulations once again to Howard Moss and Mark Bowen, the GHS TV Players of the Week.
Well, congratulations to Howard Moss and Mark Bowen for the Offensive and Defensive Player of the Week. And right now, we're just moments away from the kickoff, and I'd like to find out the personnel from CBHS Purple Wave and also refresh our memories for Germantown High School. So right now, let's go for the starting lineups for tonight's game between Germantown Red Devils and the CBHS Purple Wave.
For tonight's game, starting with the Germantown Red Devils offensive backfield. Paul West, a junior swingback. Howard Moss, number 22, a junior, 177-pound tailback. Rob Arthur, number 10, a senior, 180-pound quarterback. Mark Bowen, number 40, a junior, 207-pound fullback. Chris Coppage, number 45, a junior, 170-pound tailback. Next is the offensive line. Chris Kelly, number 85, a senior, 190-pound tight end. Ricky McMillan, number 64, a senior, 260-pound offensive tackle. Daryl Bowie, number 71, a senior, 223-pound offensive guard. Mike Kerr, number 57, a senior, 209-pound center. Don Lewis, number 66, a senior, 206-pound offensive guard. Trey Dockery, number 74, a senior, 202-pound offensive tackle. Mark Rich, number 43, a senior, 160-pound split end. And Con Ellis, number 81, a senior, 160-pound split end. And next, the defensive line. David Brenningham, number 63, a senior, 137-pound defensive end. Gerald Kilpatrick, number 72, a sophomore, 177-pound defensive end. Howard Moss, number 22, a defensive end. Daryl Bowie, number 71, 223-pound defensive tackle. Scott Tabor, number 70, a senior defensive tackle. Ricky McMillan, number 64, a senior, 260-pound defensive tackle. Emmett Whitaker, number 18, a senior, 180-pound nose guard. Chris Kelly, number 85, a defensive end. And finally, the defensive backfield. Dean Hughes, number 36, a senior, 135-pound free safety. Buzz Wathall, number 14, a junior, 180-pound safety. Mark Bowen, number 40, a junior, 207-pound linebacker. Elliot Watts, number 69, a junior, 176-pound linebacker. Rob Arthur, number 10, a senior, 180-pound free safety. Chris Hammond, number 33, a senior, 175-pound cornerback. Hugh Dixon, number 24, a senior, 160-pound cornerback. Mike McGee, number 80, 166-pound cornerback. Terry Kitchens, number 31, a senior, 164-pound safety. And finally, Mark Rich, number 43, a senior, 160-pound cornerback. And now the lineups for the CBHS Purple Wave.
Hal Hurst, number 46, a running back, weighing in at 170 pounds. He's 6 feet tall and he's a junior. Number 10, senior Andy Green, quarterback, weighing in at 170 pounds with a height of 5 feet 11 inches. Number 44, junior Greg Bell. He's the fullback, weighing in at 225 pounds and he's 6 feet 1 inch tall. Number 48, junior Brett Sofker. He's a running back, weighing in at 201 pounds and 6 feet 1. And now for the offensive line. Number 31, senior Tom Skinner, an offensive end at 178 pounds, 6 foot. Number 70, senior Mark Harkins, an offensive tackle at 200 pounds and 6 feet, 2.5 inches. Number 65, senior Lance Flynn, an offensive guard at 195 pounds and 5 feet, 10 inches. Number 53, senior Chuck Lanza, a center at 231 pounds and 6 feet, 3 inches. Number 61, senior Frank Sala, an offensive guard at 200 pounds and 5 feet 9.5 inches. David Reyes, number 51, a junior, at the position of offensive tackle. Number 25, senior Scott Robinson, a split end, at 151 pounds and 5 feet 8 inches. And now, Christian Brothers defense. Number 48, junior Brett Sofker, at 201 pounds, 6 feet 1 inch. Number 44, junior Greg Bell, a defensive linebacker, at 225 pounds, 6 feet 1 inch. Number 46, junior Hal Hurst, a defensive back, at 170 pounds, 6 feet. Number 31, senior Tom Skinner, a defensive end, at 178 pounds and 6 feet. Number 70, senior Mark Harkins, a defensive end, at 200 pounds and 6 feet 2.5 inches. Number 65, senior Lance Flynn, a defensive linebacker, at 195 pounds, 5 feet 10 inches. Number 53, senior Chuck Lanza, a defensive linebacker, at 231 pounds, 6 feet 3 inches.
And that's the lineups for tonight's game.
We're back at Red Devil Field here on the campus of Germantown High School tonight, ladies and gentlemen, for game number 2 of the 1982 football season. And we've got a real exciting game coming up, one that I know that Hart and Greg and all of the crew here are anxiously awaiting. It should be an exciting football game. As Greg mentioned earlier in one of his talks about how the students felt about this game, it's sort of for the bragging rights of Shelby County, so to speak. It's the Memphis Athletic Association team and a private school versus the Shelby County schools. Both are highly ranked in the AAA ranks of the state of Tennessee in both last week's poll and this week's poll. Got a real good game all ready for us here. We're only just a very few moments away from the ball game. The crowd continues to come in here. Looks like we're going to have a very near a capacity crowd for tonight's game. The Germantown Red Devil fans are really all filling up this side of the stands, and we're sure that CBHS has their fans as well that are filling up the other side. One thing that I'd like to bring forth, Hart, and I think that you will agree with me on this, is that earlier we talked about this at last week's game, and we again this week we were here at Germantown High School very briefly this week. We just cannot get over how these young people have adapted to this television role and done such a super job. It's just unbelievable and amazing. We're so pleased to have the facilities and for the young people to get the experience to be able to do what they do. They're learning operating the cameras. They're doing all of the statistics. And we even got a play-by-play announcer doing all of the work. It's just super, and we're so proud of these young people. All right, I know that you'll agree with me on that.
I sure will, John. I'd like to second all those comments. It just amazes me how they adapt to it. I mean, when I was a senior in high school, a junior in high school, I was trying to learn to tie my shoestrings. But I tell you, I'm really amazed at these young people. They really come on strong. I'm ready to play ball tonight. It won't be long until we get into this football game, just a matter of about 15 minutes away. I noticed the north end goal end zones, the CBHS Purple Wave are kneeling and resting. Germantown Red Devils are in their locker room, I take it. And in just a moment's away, this is a time when they'll get a few little butterflies, but as soon as that first kickoff and they hit that first tackle or catch that first ball, it's all over then. Greg, I know this is your second cable cast. How are you liking this job this year?
Well, I guess there's nothing like it. It does bring with it a certain nervousness, but I'm starting to get used to it, and it's very exciting. Now, Hart, I think we'll go down to the national anthem, which is about to start.
Right, Greg. Our national anthem is coming up, and we will take it to the field for our national anthem. The color guards are at the midfield stripe, and now our national anthem. Let's play. Let's play football, ladies and gentlemen. And right now, right before the opening kickoff, let's have a few words from Coach Ken Netherland.
After an impressive victory over the Booker T. Washington High School Warriors, we spoke to Germantown Red Devil coach Ken Netherland.
We played a good ball game early in the ball game, John, and then we kind of became complacent later on in the ball game. And the first couple of series we had the football. Our offensive line came off the ball as well as we've ever blocked. And we're just hoping, we can give that type of effort the whole ball game this coming Friday night.
With their 8th rank in the state polls, how competitive do you think that CBHS will be?
Well, they're always tough. They've got great tradition, and Coach Nix is one of the most respected coaches around. And all CBHS teams I've ever played would really get after you, and I'm sure this team won't be any different. They're a big ball club. Their offensive and defensive line are probably average weight, a little bit bigger than we are. And they've got a 230-pound fullback, a 205-pound tailback, and we just don't see that big of running backs in this league. And I'm sure they'll be remembering last year's ball game, and I don't have any doubts they'll really get after the Red Devils Friday night.
Who would you say were the more outstanding players in last week's game?
Offensively, I'd say Howard Moss probably stood out. He had over 150 yards rushing. Chris Coppage had a good ball game. Offensive line, Trey Dockery and I guess Darrell Dewitt were the two that stood out best in my mind, is really coming off the ball and doing a good job. Defensively, Mark Bourne played an exceptional ball game. Scott Tabor, who's lining up at a new position this year, did real good at the defensive end. And these are the ones that stand out in my mind. Overall, we didn't do that bad a job. We see BHS as a big rivalry, and I don't have any doubts we'll play as well as we can Friday night. If we can just keep our mistakes to a minimum, don't give CBHS an opportunity to take over the ball in good field position, then it should be a good battle.
Germantown has recorded a big victory over a tough Booker T. Washington team, but it's obvious that their first real test will be against the 8th-ranked Christian Brothers Purple Wave. For GHS TV, Cable Channel 7, this is John Koski.
Welcome back to Red Devil Field here on the campus of Germantown High School, where we're just about 6 minutes away from kickoff time, and an exciting football game tonight between the Germantown High School Red Devils and the Christian Brothers High School Purple Wave. Looking for an exciting football game tonight, and we've got almost a full house. The people are still coming in. We're just minutes away from kickoff time, so we're really looking forward to an exciting football game tonight. We hope the Red Devils are all fired up and ready to go, because this is going to be a major test for them. And Hart, you'll come in now and give us some comments on what do you think about the game.
Thank you, John. Like I say, the kickoff is just minutes away. The captains for tonight's game will be number 21, Don Jacobson, and number 18, Emmett Whitaker for the Germantown Red Devils. I believe number 65 is a captain for the Christian Brothers High School team. They are just seconds away to meeting at halftime. I think last week Germantown won the toss and took that opening kickoff and went the distance. I hope we can repeat that.
Okay, thank you, Hart. We're about 3 minutes away now from kickoff time. We've had the toss of the coin. The Germantown Red Devils won the toss, elected to receive that ball. They'll be defending the north goal, and Christian Brothers High School will be kicking off and defending the south goal. Going to get real exciting here, folks. I know this is something we've been looking forward to. The Christian Brothers High School team has some big ball players, and both had very impressive wins last week. As we told you earlier, the Germantown High School Red Devils opened the season with a 28-7 win over Booker T. Washington, while the Christian Brothers Purple Wave won their game 14-0 over Barton. So it's a big ball game for both ball clubs. I guess, again, we might say for the bragging rights of Shelby County, and it's very close to kickoff time. The officials are signaling to both benches. They'll be kneeling for their last-minute instructions and the possible prayer, and we'll be ready to go with tonight's football game. One of the things we talked about last week, Hart, that I guess we could clear up for the fans. Hopefully, maybe they read our
large neighbor to the west of us here is a big newspaper, and explained last week's what we thought was slight confusion to start with, and that was that the coaches going on the field during the timeouts. This is a new national high school rule that went into effect this year. It kind of was unannounced or was not very well publicized, and we saw it for the first time Friday night, and it's where the one coach from each team may go onto the field on a timeout for 90 seconds, and then he must return. But a player cannot come back to the sideline once that coach has gone on the field. So you'll be seeing the coaches go out. It will not be an injury situation, but nevertheless, it's a new rule, and there's some question as to where it's good or bad. But the teams are now lining up, and Hart, I think we're about ready to go play by play. Hart Toller.
Thank you, John Jolly. Here we are, Friday night, Germantown High School football at its best. The Christian Brothers High School Purple Wave will be our formidable four tonight, and we're just seconds away from kickoff. Deep for Germantown will be Chris Coppage, number 45, kicking off for Christian Brothers. Greg, could you get that number for me on the kickoff team for the Christian Brothers High School? We took the kickoff, like I said earlier, last week and went the distance on a sustaining march, and I'm crossing my fingers hoping we can do the game, because I believe the team that scores first has a little edge in this game tonight, and the fewer mistakes, because these are the two top teams in the state. And I can't wait for the kickoff to get started, and I think we're just seconds away.
Harden, number 38, the fellow that we were concerned about his name, Pat Solly, is going to be the kicker for the Christian Brothers High School team. Number 38, Pat Solly.
Pat Solly. Well, we'll go with that. And deep for Germantown, Chris Coppage, along with Bowen. I believe Jacobson in there also in halfback. That's Howard Moss, number 22. He's breaking a tackle. Brought down on about the 35-yard line. Make it to about the 36 of Germantown. Will be first down, 1st and 10.
And it looks like that the kicker, number 38, we were just mentioning a moment ago, Pat Soley was in on that tackle along with 3 or 4 of the other Christian Brother High School team.
Right. Well, first down, the first play from scrimmage for this Friday night's contest. Kerr over the ball, Arthur in a wishbone offense. And they run from the wishbone. Arthur keeps on a sweep. He goes over the right end. He's got some open territory. And he stopped on the Christian Brothers 40-yard line. A nice gain by Rob Arthur.
Number 25, Scott Robinson, in to make that stop. He was almost the last man between Mr. Arthur and Pay Dirt that time, Hart.
Right, they ran off the wishbone offense. They use a multiple set with shifts and man in motion, but I think they threw the Maroons Purple Wave. I'll get it in a second. They threw him off guard there. Here we go again. That's Johnny Jacobson, his first run from scrimmage this 1982 season. I think he picks up about a yard.
Lance Flynn was the man in for the Purple Wave on the tackle.
Don't give him about a yard on that, John. It'll be second down, about a long 9.
Very outside the 40-yard line in Christian Brother territory now, Hart. Let me go again, looks like.
All right, Rob Arthur over the center. Now he's shifting to the right, pro set. We have Paul West in motion. Pitch out to Moss. He does a little juke step. He can't get his balance. And a swarm of white maroon jerseys were on it.
The stop on that play, Hart, was made by number 65, Lance Flynn.
Lance Flynn, one of the co-captains for the CBHS Purple Wave. No gain on the play. In fact, we might have lost that yard we picked up on the first down. So third down, 3rd and 10. And very impressed with the defense of CBHS. They went after the ball carrier very well on that last play. That's West in motion. Rob Arthur back to pass. He finds West in the flats. Spotted on about the 27-yard line of CBHS. One pass, and that was a crucial play. It was a 3rd and 10 possession play, and Arthur and West were up to the task. It's first down, Red Devils, 1st and 10, balls on the Christian Brothers 27. Fine gain on the play. Right, John. We need that tonight. That's Arthur on the option. He's going to keep. He goes over the left side. Picks up a couple of yards.
Number 65, Lance Glenn, again in on that tackle. He's been a real defensive line this far.
Arthur made more than I thought up to this angle. Let's call it 5-yard penalty. 5-yard gain. Second down, second and fine. A nice gain out of a slant run. He kept the ball, and I think they'll be zeroing in on Howard Moss tonight, so Arthur will have that option to run quite often. That's Howard Moss over the right guard.
The stop on that play was made by number 70, Mark Hankins, the other co-captain for the CBHS squad.
Well, the co-captains are making their presence known, Greg. And that's, as I said earlier in the cable cast, John, I hope we had a sustaining drive, and we're so far we're on a move here. Red Devils, another first down, 1st and 10, balls on about the 12. That's Arthur on an option. Looks like he's going to keep. Arthur goes in. I better not second guess that. I listen.
1 yard line. Actually, his turn when he called in the end zone, he actually stepped out of bounds at the 1 yard line. It was top ball. Very neat play by Rob Arthur. I think the Christian Brothers team kept thinking he was going to pitch. He was going to pitch. He was going to pitch, but he never did. He just tucked it in and took it down in front of the end zone, except he actually stepped out of bounds at the 1.
Well, on the wishbone offense, John, as you mentioned in last week's telecast, he has the option to pitch out to the trailing halfback or keep or pass, and he makes the offense go. Has to do is to come in, keep that ball, and keep them honest, and that's what he's doing. Let's go back to the playing field now. It's 1st and goal. Ball's about on the 1 yard line as Rob Arthur almost took it in for the Germantown score. In the wishbone, Arthur on a sneak. He's close to that goal line. He's over for the score.
Good. A touchdown. Rob Arthur calling his own number that time. Took it right up the middle on a quarterback sneak in the end zone for the touchdown. The score now, Germantown High School 6, the Christian Brothers Purple Wave 0 with a 12 point to come. Good. Got any comments on that drive, Ben?
Sorry, John, it's hard to hear up here with this band noise. Did you want Greg to make a comment?
Yeah, Greg, I was wondering if you had a comment on that drive.
Let's take an extra point here right now. We're going to have McPherson trying the extra point. Arthur on the hole, and that's his 5th straight extra point. Excuse us, ladies and gentlemen, but the band was playing so loud it's a little bit hard to hear on the top of the press box. Greg, how about your comments on that last Germantown drive?
Well, Germantown started on their own 36-yard line. The first play of the drive kind of set the tone for the whole drive. It was a 24-yard run by Rob Arthur around the right end. On the 4th play, it was a pass play to Paul West of 14 yards. And the last play, the 8th play, was a 1-yard quarterback sneak by Rob Arthur.
Thank you, Greg. We're back on the playing field now as we have a specialty kicker for the kickoffs and field goals. John, is that what's that young man's name, number 19?
I believe it's Mike Witt, number 19, will do the kicking. He's the kickoff man for the Germantown Red Devils, Hard.
Mike Witt's fixed to put his left foot into the ball.
It's difficult from this angle to pick up who the two numbers are of the deep men for the Christian Brothers team.
Very good kick by Witt. He takes it all the way back to the 6-7 yard line.
Number 4, Bennett.
That's Bennett, number 14. Brings it back up to about the 29.
Looks like Ricky Payton and George Cantu were the boys that were in on that tackle that time for the Red Devils.
Right, first down for the CBHS. Played a nice game. Third down, 3rd and 4. That's Andy Green fading back for a pass. Germantown swallowing. Tackle looked like Scott Tabor was in on that tackle, John.
Number 70, Scott Tabor, was in on that tackle. There were several Germantown Red Devils who were in on that tackle. They really put a good rush on the quarterback. I think it was a long pass intended, but just couldn't come around with it because Red Devils were just putting too much pressure on that passer.
Best pass defense I know of, right, John?
That's absolutely true.
See if I can get a number on that punter. Deep for Germantown. It's number 45, Chris Coppage. Their brother. Kick is out of bounds on about the 33-yard line. Coppage watches it go out of bounds, and that's where the Germantown will put it in play. First down and 1st and 10. I think that was Marable was the punter on that last kick.
The Red Devils will take over at their own 38-yard line. The official finally spots the ball at the 38, so it's 1st and 10 Germantown from that point in their own end of the field. As Arthur brings them up the line of scrimmage, Hart, we're ready to go.
Thank you, John. Rob Arthur, 3-year starter for Germantown. Pitches out to Johnny Jacobs on his second run of the season, and he's pulled down at number 45 there.
Number 45, that's Chris Marable.
Chris Marable, the young man who just punted for Christian Brothers. John, it looked like John Jacobson was a little apprehensive on that run. You can't fault the young man in that.
Well, I think
he's got a dislocated shoulder. He's in a brace, and he's got lightning fast speed, but
it's going to take him a little time, Hart, to get his confidence back again and be sure he doesn't want to get that shoulder hurt again and be out for the season. So it'll take a little time, but he'll come around.
Well, he's a fine young man, and we're looking for great things. As that man Moss again, Mighty Moss. Mighty Moss brings it up to the 49. Paul Buzz Walthall in for the Germantown lineup, replacing Paul West. Rob Arthur. There's the pro set. Man in motion. Walthall. Arthur on a pass over to Senator Con Ellis. His first reception of this 1982 season. And ladies and gentlemen, that young man has a fine pair of hands.
Number 25, Scott Robinson, was the man in on the tackle that time for the Christian Brothers team.
John, they're mixing up the plays real well.
They're doing a good job of that.
I'm glad to see this pass. They got to throw the ball to keep those linebackers and those defensive ends honest. Keep them a little loose. They look like they might be playing up a little bit for that run, and so they're throwing it in the flat.
I get a little concerned about that pitch. No doubt about it. The option play.
All right, let's go with the second down and about 2. Handoffs to Moss. He's close, according to the way they spot that ball. He's got to get about to the 39-yard line, and he's he might be just a ball shy. I don't want to second guess. Let's just wait.
We may have to have a measurement on this one, Hart.
I believe it's close enough for a measure.
It is.
Well, one of the questions in my mind's already been answered tonight. Germantown's offensive line was very effective against Booker T. Washington's offensive line. Now I was wondering whether they'd be that effective tonight. As evidenced by that first drive, Germantown's offensive line is exploding off the line, taking control of the game, and that's really where the game's won and lost, is on the offensive line. If they can't get out, the backs can't do anything.
Right. Thank you, Greg. Looks like we've got just inches to go. So it'll be third down and inches for Germantown. Ball's just over the 41-yard line of Christian Brothers. John Jacobson back in the lineup for Germantown. Chris Coppage coming out. The referee starts the clock, and here we go again. Any second guessing on this play, John?
No, I won't try this one.
Let's
Quarterback
go.
sneak.
Let's
There he
go
goes.
Rob Arthur.
I believe he has it. The official is spotting it where he's.
Let's give him a first down. Looked like the center of the line brought it down. It's hard to pick up an individual. Let's just give the credit to the center of the Christian Brothers High School line.
Well, of course, normally in a situation like that, the quarterback just lunges forward, as does the line, when you only need a few inches, as they did then, and they made that first down. And here we go again with Rob Arthur under center.
All right. Going to that pro set. Familiar will all fall in motion. There goes Howard Moss. He's picking his holes. Very beautiful on that run. He's still running. That's Mighty Moss.
That was a fantastic run, Hart. He got hit by 2 or 3 players, and he broke out of at least 2 tackles and probably 3. He cut back once or twice and left 2 or 3 defenders behind. That's an excellent run by Moss. He looks like he's going to be a fine prospect for his senior year next year.
Right, Greg. I think Bennett brought him down. I think it took a defensive backfield man to get him. He went through the defensive line.
Yeah, number 14, Michael Bennett, was the the backfield man that came up to make that tackle for the Christian Brothers team.
Another first down, John. Here we go. It's on that option again. Arthur's got the ball. He turns the right corner, picks up fairly good yardage.
Number 32, Boyd Williams, was on the stop there for CBHS.
John, I believe they've got a good game plan for tonight's game. They're executing well. They're mixing the plays up. We're seeing some plays we didn't see last week.
Well, we're also looking at the fact that it looks like the Brothers team is playing in close, as you mentioned earlier, and they're expecting that option pitch, and it's just not coming off.
Right. Here we go again. This time West, the slot back to right. It's a give to Moss through the center. Moss goes over. Mighty Moss goes over untouched for the second Germantown High School score.
Howard Moss from 17 yards out. A beautiful play. He just jumped over the middle of the line and went right on through there, picked his holes very nicely, and went right into the end zone for the touchdown. It's now 13 for the Red Devils and 0 for Christian Brothers High School. What do you say about that drive, Craig?
Well, I'd like to comment on that last play. Right at Howard Moss got about 5 yards past the line. He was doing the hurdles there. One of the CBHS players had fallen down.
Right.
Coming down to the extra point attempt by Mike McPherson.
McPherson's foot into the butt, and this is his 6th straight conversion. Mike McPherson. Go ahead.
The score now is Germantown 14, CBHS 0.
Well, that's McPherson, 6 straight. That's 4 before last week, and he's 2 for 2 tonight. So the boy has a good kick there, because he is putting it right through the uprights. There's no question about it. 6 for 6 for Mike McPherson, number 30. Red Devils are back downfield now. The officials getting ready to spot the ball for the kickoff once again. It'll be number 19, Mike Witt, to do the kicking for the Red Devils.
John, the first quarter is only about 2.5 minutes left, and we've yet to see Mr. Bell run the ball, number 44. I believe we'll get some stats on that last drive in just a second. Right now, Mike Witt puts his left foot in the ball, fielded by number 25, Bennett. tackle made by number 17. That was Paul West on that tackle.
A beautiful tackle by Paul West, and just a one-man tackle, right, open field tackle. A beautiful play.
Right. Oh, those are ones we enjoy seeing when we see a wide open field tackle. When he needed to make that tackle, he might have had a little more daylight ahead. So CBHS will put the ball in play on their own 32.5-yard line. First down from that position. This is number 46. Mishandled. That was Hal Hurst, running back. Mishandled that pitch out. John, we haven't seen, is number 44 in there that we've heard so much from Greg Bell?
Yes, he is. He has been in the lineup. He may not be in there at the present time, but he has been in and out of the lineup. However, they are either using him for a decoy or they have not elected to give him the ball so far because we have not seen his number called.
I see him in the lineup today, and they're running out of the now. They're giving it to Sofker on a nice run. He broke through. Brett Sofker.
Number 33, Chris Hammond, was in on the stop, and that was a nice run. He really, fine blocking by the Christian Brothers High School left side of the line. They really opened a gigantic hole, let him bring upfield, and it was saved by the safeties, or he would have been long gone for a touchdown.
Right, along with Hammond there, Rob Arthur got a hand around his ankle to bring him down. Yes, Mr. Bell is the short man in the eyes, the middle man, so we'll be seeing for him shortly, I'm sure. There he goes around the corner. That was Brett Sofker again.
Number 43 was on the stop there for Germantown, Mark Rich.
Well, it looks like the Red Devils are going to have to tighten up a little bit hard. They're getting pushed back around by this much larger team from Christian Brothers High School. They outweigh them, and they're down moving that ball pretty well.
Well, they scored twice. I hope they might be just a little complacent, but there he goes again. That's that man Sofker, 79 on that tackle.
That would be Jay Duggins, number 79, in on that tackle. He was the first man to grab his hand on him. Got a little help downfield, but Duggins had already made the hit to start to bring him down. But the Purple Wave are moving on the Red Devils right now, and it's getting crucial time.
Split end just came in the ball game for Christian Brothers, number 25. His name is Scott Robinson. That's one that they'll throw this time, but we're going to go with first down and 10. Now, here's Mr. Bell. I take that back. That's Sofker again. Faked the Bell, gave it to Sofker. Now, John's right. I believe they're using Mr. Bell as a decoy, and it's working because Sofker is picking up good yardage. I had the pleasure of knowing his father. I played golf with him, and Buddy Sofker was an outstanding athlete at CBHS and went on ahead to start LSU Tigers. The end of the first quarter, the score, Germantown 14, CBHS nothing.
Well, I tell you what, Hart. It's been in the very first, it looked like Germantown was going to come out and blow Christian Brothers out of the stadium with two nice drives in for touchdowns, but Christian Brothers certainly hasn't given up. They've taken that football and opened that kickoff after the last touchdown. They've driven it downfield now into Germantown territory, and it looks like they're kind of pushing the Germantown defensive team around a bit. I'm going to tell you, Greg, ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are watching us tonight on German GHS TV cable channel 7, if you're not thinking about how great this football game is and going to be out here in person tonight.
Time of test for the Germantown defense. It's time to tell whether that inexperience is going to hamper Germantown or if they're going to play like they did it last week against Booker T. Washington. They had one drive against Booker T. Washington where they're kind of getting pushed around a little bit, but they stiffened up when they got down in deep territory and held Booker T. very well. It'll be interesting to see if Germantown will hold them as well with this play.
Thank you, Greg. Let's start the second quarter now. It's second down, second and about 1. And now's the time for that Germantown Devil defense to dig in and stop this Purple Wave thrust. That's Andy Green, the quarterback. He pitches out. It's a fumble. Intended for Sofker.
Mark Bowen was the man who got right on top of him immediately.
Mark Bowen, the defensive player of the week last week against Booker T. Washington. He's a junior. He's a transfer from Tallahassee, Florida. He weighs all Tallahassee prep, and he's making his presence known in the Germantown Red Devil uniform. All right, that's loss of about 4 on the play. Let's call it third and about 4.
What's very strange, Hart, is that on 2 option plays, the quarterback has really, the pitch has not been that bad. It's just been that the backfield men have not been able to get the handle on the football.
That's right, John. Back to action on the field. I believe they took a little too long to put that in play, and that's going to cost the Purple Wave because this was a 3rd down and 4, and this will probably bring it back about 3rd and 9. I'm sorry. Excuse me for second guessing. I'm learning a lesson tonight. Offsides Germantown, and that gives the Purple Wave a 1st down. Well, John hit me inside the head. Next time I'll make another prediction on a penalty.
Well, you can rest assured at this stage of the game that defensive coordinator Leland Smith is a little disturbed.
Uh-oh, there's a fumble on the plate. Howard Morris was always around the ball, was scrambling for it. Was in the clean handoff. Never got into the halfback's hand. Andy Green recovered.
In fact, we got a timeout on the field here. Officials talking things over here, Hart. Don't know exactly what the problem is. Now we're ready to play once again. Officials spotting everything and giving you a signal to let's go.
2nd down, John, with 2nd and about 14. That's Sofker. Sofker just bulls his way through the center of the line.
Looks like number 79 again. Jay Duggins was the last man off the pile for Germantown, making a stop. And again, these big backs are just running through that Germantown line. They're going to have to button down a little tighter.
Here's a young man that can do something about it. 69. That's Elliott Watts, standout player last week. He could have gotten my vote also for the defensive player of the game. So let's see what happens. Let's call it 3rd and 7. That's Green. He's throwing with the big man, Bell. Greg Bell, 223 pounds, about 6'3", from Maryland.
Well,
transfer.
Mark Rich, along with help from Elliott Watts that time, brought down the big boy, Mr. Bell, 44. The quarterback was almost, that would be Andy Green, was almost stopped before he get that ball away, but he barely got it away. But there was a very quick pursuit by the defensive linebackers of Germantown to bring down Bell before he could get anywhere.
Mark Rich at a 5'10", 160, hit a 225-pound man. He had to feel that, but he did a good job. Let's go back to the action. Welcome to Germantown, Mr. Greg Bell.
Let's see who that last man off the pile is. Looks like big number 71, and that would be Darrell Bowie in to make the stop, and it was a dead stop.
Great defensive play, a key play to stop that CBHS Purple Wave drive. Ball goes over. 1st down, 1st and 10s on the own 21-yard line. Have the same starting lineup as we started this ball game. Robert Arthur running the offense. He gives off to Howard Moss, and Moss was stopped there as CBHS read that play very well.
That was number 31, Tom Skinner. It was one of the defenders in there for the Christian Brothers High School. He was stopped actually at the line of scrimmage, but he kind of twisted his way through. Maybe a couple yards, maybe hard.
Right. I'd say just about 3. John, look at the crowd. I was just noticing down here at the north end zones there. Standing room only tonight. We're glad to see it. We'd love to have you out here. But if you're not here, we hope you're enjoying the cable cast. That's Arthur Keeps on the pass.
Incomplete to West that time.
West was close to the sidelines. It was an over-the-shoulder catch. It would have been a great catch, but one it just didn't happen.
Very difficult catch there, Hart. The pass was thrown actually on the wrong side. He just couldn't turn around and come back and bring the ball down. If it had been thrown on the inside, there was a good possibility he would have gone in the air and brought it down. But Rob Arthur that time, in a hurry to get a little football, just accidentally threw it to the wrong side. And that'll happen in high school football. It'll happen in college ball. It'll happen in tennis.
Right. One thing about that pass, the defensive man couldn't have got to it.
That's correct.
He's back to pass again. That's Arthur. Throws from the left side. Wait a minute. He's off. Pass is incomplete, intended for Walthall.
Again, pass was overthrown. Walthall did not have a chance to catch that ball.
Greg, we've completed 2 passes tonight. Ellis.
Two completions of 4 attempts.
Looks like we're coming up with 4th down and about 8 for the Red Devils. And that ball back to punt.
Walthall had a tremendous average last week. I don't know exactly what his average was. I imagine Greg has those figures in front of him, but we'll get to those later. But here he is in punt formation. And John, I'm not going to say a word. I'll let you.
I'm going to say it's delayed at the game.
I'm going to say there's a flag on the play. Am I safe in saying that?
It's a legal procedure against the Germantown Red Devils. 5-yard penalty, backs them up another 5. Now it'll bring up 4th down still, but they'll need about around 12 yards, 13 yards for a 1st down. And they'll still allow Power to go out and punt formation.
Greg, get the hang. Excuse me, John. Get the Greg hang time on this, Greg, if you can. He hit the ball way up in the air last week. I'd like to see what we can get on the hang time.
Ball back once again to kick.
That's Walthall kicking. Well, not this one. I hope I didn't jinx him. He hit it off the side of his foot and goes dead about the 38-yard line. He'll have some more good kicks. He had some last week, and he'll have some more.
Well, let's hope that short kick doesn't hurt the Red Devils here, because it does give the Christian Brothers High School an excellent field position. They're on the 38 on the 42 in Germantown territory. 1st and 10 from that point. 7:52 left in the first half. Germantown still leading 14-0, but Christian Brothers has been showing some muscle here of late, and let's see if Germantown can shut them down.
All right, 1st down, 1st and 10. Ball's on the 41 of Germantown. Ball carry goes through the center of the line.
Mark Bowen, number 40 for the Red Devils again, along with some other Red Devils in to make the tackle.
That was Brett Sofker, who's getting a lot of duty tonight. I think Bell carried one time and was the receiver of one pass. But they got their eyes on Mr. Greg Bell.
These big backs are pretty hard to bring down when they get a little steam up.
Yes, I believe Brett's over 200 pounds.
Ooh,
that's
nice
a good stop there.
That'd be number 18.
Emmett Whitaker was on the stop.
Emmett Whitaker, senior, about 180 pounds, who played a fine game last week against a 280-pound opponent, was right there and met Mr. Sofker.
In fact, he got him in the backfield for a loss. Got him for a loss on that play, Hart. Nice play by Whitaker that time.
Right, Emmett Whitaker made a sterling play on that last. This is Andy Green back to pass. He doesn't keep finding a receiver. He's going to run. It's the far side there. And he gets up to about the 28-yard line before he's brought down.
Looks like Rob Arthur was the man who knocked him out of bounds.
Rob Arthur going both ways as he normally does. That's a shame. He couldn't. The defensive had the backs covered, so he elected to run and picked up the 1st down.
Walthall is checking in the ball game for number 31. That would be Terry Kitchens for the Germantown High School defensive team.
Well, I tell you what, I am going to make a prediction on this. I believe Christian Brothers was in motion then, John. We're in motion.
Well, you're due to win one.
I'm none for one. Illegal procedure.
Very good. Very good.
I redeem myself.
Very good.
These penalties are crucial for Christian Brothers. They get down in field position, and they've had a couple of fumbles. A penalty here or there. And it's it's telling on them. Field position is so important, and they started out in good field position, starting on their own 41. They advanced it. Now they're back, well, on about the 35-yard
Well,
line.
if it makes you feel any better, Hart, even the officials make mistakes. See, he had the ball marked off another 5 yards and had to straighten it out.
Right.
So, everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah. Even Howard Cosell, I heard him make one time.
Who?
Howard who? All right, let's get back to Germantown High School football game. Brought to you by the Germantown Television Cable Channel 7. That's Andy Green. Drop back pass. He couldn't find anybody. Decided to run.
Number 22, that was your boy, Mr. Moss.
Mighty Moss. Mighty Moss. A man with a plan. I was looking at the profile book. I think Moss is one of about 6 children, and I hope his brothers and sisters are out here watching it tonight because he's playing another sterling game.
You know, outside of being an outstanding athlete that we've seen thus far for almost a game and a half, I understand that he is a fine young man. I have a freshman son who happens to know him, and he just thinks very highly of Howard Moss.
Well, that's great. I'm glad to hear it. Andy Green back passing a little screen pass. It never could develop. They were there, but they looked like he had to rush it a little bit.
I'm not so sure he was running the risk of a possible illegal receiver because right thrown in the middle of that line, I didn't see any backs or numbers that would come up that would be eligible receivers, but nevertheless the ball falls away incomplete, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, here's another crucial play, third and about 15 for Germantown. With 5 minutes and 14 seconds to go, this Germantown scores 14. The Christian Brothers, nothing.
This well could be the play of the ball game for Christian Brothers.
That's Andy Green passing out in the flats.
It's incomplete. Number 33 for the Germantown Red Devils. That would be Chris Hammond was the man in to make the bump on that, and the ball falls away incomplete.
Greg, I'm very impressed with the defensive team now. Look like they've settled down a little bit.
The last 2 drives, once they've got down to about the 30-yard line, they've stopped them cold. The last drive by CBHS was the most interesting one. They were kind of almost overtaking our defensive line, but they got down here in dangerous territory, and they tried a 4th and 4, and Darrell Bowie came through and stopped them cold, and we got the ball back.
Thank you, Greg. It's Marable in punt formation for Christian Brothers High School. Rob Arthur deep. Faking a reception and lets it roll, and wisely so. It does take a Germantown roll and goes dead in the end zone.
Well, it'll be brought back out to the 20-yard line. It'll be a touchback. Ball into the end zone. I tell you what I noticed, Hart and Greg. We were talking about the defense, the Germantown defense a moment ago. I may be misreading this from up here because sometimes our vantage point's not the best in the world, but I noticed that there were some changes made after the big back started running up the middle, and he moved his linebackers a little bit more inside, and that seemed to shut down some of this and made the Christian Brother team go to the air, which hopefully has been successful in stopping these drives.
Right, I remember him and Whitaker making a fine tackle, and I imagine some of those changes were due to that. That's Chris Coppage in one of his first runs tonight. We haven't seen Chris much tonight.
It'll be interesting, Hart, to see whether the Germantown offense can get back on track. The tackle on that play by Christian Brothers was made by number 70, Mark Hankins. Getting back to what I was saying, Hart, it'll be interesting to see if Germantown get back on track after they were stalled in that last drive.
Right, that's true. With about 4.5 minutes left, I'd like to get one more score on the board. Arthur giving off to Moss again. Take that back. That's Johnny Jacobson. He made a quick hold. He had a very fast start.
Number 65, Lance Flynn, was again there for CBHS.
And I want to give number 57, Mike Kerr, a little credit on that block because he is the center, and he moved upfield and helped him to move that play on upfield. A very nice block by Mike Kerr.
Chris Kelly, who made a fine reception last Friday night, is just in the ball game. I think Germantown's called a timeout.
Hart, I've got an interesting unofficial stat we have. We have Brett Sofker of CBHS for 6 rushes for 39 yards. That's about 6.5 yards per rush. Sofker's doing a good job going through our line and picking up good yardage for CBHS. We need the defensive line needs to stiffen up a little bit and stop him.
Right. I believe the defense were keying probably on Mr. Bell and gave Mr. Sofaker a little running room, but those were hard yards he made. They were up the center. He's a strong boy. He's 6 foot, over 6 foot and about 200 pounds. And he is doing a yeoman job in that running halfback off that I formation and the wishbone.
With 4:02 left in the first half, the score is Germantown Red Devils 14, the Christian Brothers High School 0. And we invite you to stay with us at halftime to see the Germantown High School marching band. A very fine performance they're going to have for us tonight. So stay around. We got some interviews for you, and we think you're going to enjoy our halftime. Timeout's still on the field, but we're getting very close to getting ready to play again. We mentioned earlier on that new rule, the coaches must be off the field within 90 seconds. As you know, the timeouts are 2 minutes, and the coaches only have 90 seconds in order to be on the field. And I noticed Coach Ken Netherlands just now come off the field, put on his headsets, so we should be ready to go back to play in just a minute, Hart.
Right, John. You know, we have a fine football team here, and I'd like to recognize our fine manager, Mr. Quayne Finley. Yes, Chris, you have some information here?
We've got some of the unofficial stats for the first quarter. They're kind of interesting. Germantown had 7 first downs. Well, let's go back to the game now. Germantown's coming up to the line.
Right. We'll get those at next opportunity. Arthur over the center curve. Arthur's a fake pitch out. Tries to keep his balance.
Number 25, Scott Robinson, made a nice stop there. Again, it was Arthur who was trying to test the defensive back to see if he would come up and play him or if he was going to make the pitch. He didn't appear that he was going to make the play on him, so he tucked the ball in, tried to make the run with it. But Scott Robinson of the Christian Brothers team made a nice stop.
All right, thank you, John. Could be a passing situation. Second down, second, about 5. Clock is running out. Instead, he gives to number 22, Mighty Moss.
You know, Moss is amazing tonight. He plays both ways, and he got through on that play. He got hit by one tackler, knocked him off of it, then got hit by another tackler and still kept moving. He's got a lot of energy. He really plays with a lot of heart out there as well as he's moving.
Michael Bennett and Mark Cooper were both in on the tackle for the Christian Brothers team.
That last tackle by Scott Robertson, he's 150 pounds, 5'8", but he really hit our running back that tackle before last. That's Mighty Moss up the center.
Number 65, that would be Lance Flynn, who's had his name called a number of times tonight on defense, made the stop for the Christian Brothers Purple Wave.
That's another first down for our stats here. Germantown is moving the ball. As Greg said earlier, to be anxious to see how we can keep that sustaining drive.
Incidentally, Hart, number 21, Johnny Jacobson, checked back into the ball game during that between plays.
He's a man that can break it. Like I say, he's playing with a brace. He's dislocated his shoulder earlier this season, but he's in there with a lot of heart. That's Arthur around the right side. Knocked out of bounds about the 32-yard line.
Chuck Lanza, number 53 for the Purple Wave, was the man in to knock him out of bounds.
John Chuck Lanza is a young man who will be a fine college prospect. He's 231 pounds. He's 6'3", a senior. I think he's from Pittsburgh.
I tell you, he pursued very nicely on the play to be that size man.
With about 2 minutes and 11 seconds left, I believe we'll see the Red Devils go to the air. Is Con Ellis out wide left. Walthall in motion. I believe he's looking for Ellis. If he can get it. Oh, he's tripped up.
That would be number 81, Mark Hooper, who made a very nice defensive play for the Purple Wave as Rob Arthur was rolling to his left. He had really broken away from the pack to let loose of the ball as Hooper dived and made the trip on Arthur to bring him down for a loss.
And Ellis was back there. He just couldn't get back in time to get to him. Moss is in the lineup now with a play from Coach Netherland along with Coach Graves. Coach Graves is on the press box right across from my cable casting booth, and he sends in the offensive plays from the top of the press box. That's Arthur. He's going to pitch out. It's just overthrown to Jacobson.
That time, again, Rob Arthur was a little swing pass out to the halfback, Johnny Jacobson, but the ball was overthrown. So the ball will bring ball back to the line of scrimmage. That'll bring up third down now for the Red Devils.
John, we had to be careful there. That was almost a lateral. It was thrown straight across the line of scrimmage.
Very close.
We got lucky there that the officials didn't call it a lateral.
Very close, Greg. Good observation on your part.
Right. Glad you could pick up those things, because those are little things we miss a lot of times when we're watching the ball. This is unusual formation. It's a spread formation. It's Arthur out. He's got 3 men over the flanker. Oh, it hit Moss, but he hit his in the chest and couldn't quite hold on to it. Well, that's about the razzle-dazzle play we've had this year, right, John?
That's right. It was kind of the old Hail Mary type. Number 14, Michael Bennett, was in between 2 Red Devil receivers, and the ball bounced all over the place, but nobody was able to grab it and bring it down. So the ball will be once again back to the line of scrimmage, and it'll bring up 4th down for the Red Devils.
Buzz Walthall, who handles the kicking duties for Germantown, is deep. He'll be kick at about the 35-yard line.
Michael Bennett is the deep man for the Purple Wave.
Walthall hits a fine kick. Bennett signaled for a fair catch about the 18-yard line where the Purple Wave will put it in play.
That was Michael Bennett, number 14, who brought the kick in. Signaled for the fair catch to start with. Made the catch. The ball will be spotted at about the 18-yard line where the Christian Brothers High School Purple Wave will set up 1st and 10 from that point. We've got 1 minute and 11 seconds left in the first half. The score still Germantown High School Red Devils 14, the Christian Brothers team 0. So if the Red Devils can now hold them without letting them make a sustained drive, they should go to the locker room at halftime with a 2-touchdown lead.
Well, what we don't want is the long play. And there goes our big boy, Greg Bell, his longest run from scrimmage. In fact, it's about the 2nd time he's carried the ball.
Chris Hammond in on the tackle for the Red Devils. I'll tell you what, he's a big boy, and he's tough to bring down when he gets up ahead of steam.
Right. 1st down. Ball's about the 30-yard line. Clock is running right in under 1 minute now, the first half. Green brings them out over Lanza. Lanza, that fine center. And that's Sofker, who stopped dead in his tracks.
Very nice play by the right side of the Germantown defensive line as they all came up to bring him down. There's so many there. I can pick out number 79, Jay Duggins, as one of them who was in on that tackle, but almost the entire right side of the line was just raised up and said, we're not going to let you go this time, number 48, and they didn't.
Looks like CBHS is willing to let the clock run out. It's about 20 seconds and running.
A little surprised they're not throwing the ball.
Right. They're running from the I formation this time. There's Green, going to make a pass play, overthrows his receiver over on the far side.
Maybe that's the answer.
His receiver is number 25, Scott Robinson, 5'10". He couldn't quite stretch that other foot too, John, to get that ball.
I just mentioned the fact, Hart, as you know, the play before, that I was surprised they weren't passing, and obviously they come out and make me look bad because they're throwing the ball, but Green seems to have a little problem with his passing so far tonight. He's not bringing that ball down. He throws it with some authority, but the ball just seems to either sail on him or he's throwing it too high.
One of the reasons, John, for some of this error in passing might be the Germantown defense is coming in very fast. He doesn't have much time at all to throw that pass. Quarterback usually needs 3 or 4 seconds to set up and look for his receivers and get a pass off. Germantown defense is coming in very fast. They're going to get him if he waits any time at all. He's got to hurry his passes.
Right. Excuse me, go ahead, John.
We have a timeout on the field. There's 5 seconds left in the first half. We do invite you to stay tuned to us for a fine halftime show by the Germantown High School Marching Band. We saw the Christian Brothers High School Marching Band here also. We're not sure that they will be performing at halftime, but we may have both bands on for our halftime show as well as some interviews.
John, they just called it. Germantown called that timeout. It's a third down situation with 5 seconds left. Evidently, Leland Smith saw something in the defensive lineup he didn't like, so they just alertly called timeout, and he went in out and straightened out that problem. Here we go. Third down, 3rd and 10. Last play of the first half. And CBHS elects to run the clock out. At the end of the first half, the score, Germantown High School 14, Christian Brothers High School, nothing.
Last play, the stop was made by number 71, Daryl Bowie for Germantown.
This first half has certainly been an exciting ball game. There's been times when it looked like that Germantown would put it away, and then immediately Christian Brothers would come rolling right back and kind of knock them on their heels, and they have given Germantown really all they wanted after Germantown jumped out to a 14-0 lead here in the first half. But some defensive realignments was made, and they're ready to do a much better job late in the first half than they have been. We're awaiting the Germantown High School Marching Band to come onto the field for a halftime show. We invite you to stay with us. This is John Jolly along with Hart Tola, Greg Dennis, our sideline announcer Jim Gentry. Welcome you to the second telecast of the season from Red Devil Field here in Germantown between the Germantown High School Red Devils and the Christian Brothers Purple Wave. Score at halftime, 14 Germantown zip for the Christian Brothers Purple Wave. Been a very, very good, hard-fought first half. As we said, the Germantown team moved out front early on 2 sustained drives to rack up 14 points on the scoreboard, then seemed to maybe relax just slightly, and all of a sudden here come the big backs from Christian Brothers just running through that line and moving down the field, and it looked like at one point in time that they may really make a game out of this, but fortunately Germantown has been able to hold them off, and at the half it is 14-0. What is your comments, Greg, on the first half so far?
Well, what I'm really impressed with is the tenacity of the Germantown defense. They looked at the first couple drives by CBHS. They held them real well, but then CBHS started coming back, running up the middle and doing very well. I think Sofker had some very good yardage, but it got down to a 4th and 4 play, the real test, and Germantown's defense came through, and they showed how well they can play.
Thank you, Greg. And coming onto the field now is the Germantown High School Marching Band, the 1982 edition of Germantown Red Devil Marching Band. The band is under the direction of a new band director this year, Jeff Cousins. The flag corps is under the direction of Mrs. Susan Shreve. Our drum major is Eric Mullins. They entertained us at halftime last week with a very entertaining and exciting show, and we're looking forward to the same thing tonight. And as soon as they crank up the music, we'll go to the field and listen to the performance by the Germantown High School Marching Band.
Very good.
That's the Germantown High School Marching Band, ladies and gentlemen. Very good performance. And let's go back to the field and listen to their next number.
Band, horns up! Up, up, ready, ho! Up, up, ready, ho!
Well, folks, you've just heard a very exciting halftime show by our 1982 Germantown High School Marching Band. The trumpet solo there by drum major Eric Mullins. I think new band director Jeff Cousins certainly deserves a great deal of credit for an outstanding job in getting this band together, and they put on two fine shows for us the last 2 weeks.
John, it has been an exciting halftime, and right now we have an interview with this fine band director, Mr. Jeff Cousins. And in just a few minutes, we'll roll that tape. And then we will come back here to live at Germantown Field, where we have a 14-0 score in favor of Germantown Red Devils. And if we can roll that tape right now, let's go to hear Mr. Jeff Cousins.
At 8 p.m. next Friday. Any parents,
I think we're about ready to go to that interview. Are we ready?
Mr. Jeff Cousins is waiting in the...
This is Germantown High School Marching Band under the direction of Mr. Jeff Cousins and drum major Eric Mullins. This is Mr. Cousins' first year at Germantown, and in an interview with him, I asked him how his year was going, and how he thought the band was doing so far.
Well, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of challenges. The kids are a lot of fun to work with, and they always keep you, always keep you jumping. And it's tough to stay one or two steps ahead of them, but that's what I try to do, to always make sure that they have something new to do and to learn. I think that we'll do well. I think that we're going to go, and that if the kids will do as well as they have, if the kids will do as well as they have prepared for, they'll do very well. Right now, we're going to go to the West Tennessee Marching Band Contest at Jackson, Tennessee, and then Memphis State Marching Contest, and the Arkansas State University Marching Contest. We have 56 win position slots, which means that that's where horn players go, be they trumpet, trombone, clarinet, flute, whatever. And we have 14 percussion slots in our tuba player marches with the percussion. We have 22 auxiliary, which means flags and rifles. Then we have one very fine drum major, which is Eric Mullins, and Eric does a nice job out there. And each child has got to know his own drill, his own steps to make the overall drill work. And it takes a lot of work.
Good luck to the Germantown High School Marching Band. From the practice field at Germantown High School, this is Charlotte Jolly, GHS TV, Cable Channel 7.
This is Jim Gentry. I'm here with Coach Rocky Graves. Coach, how do you feel the first half went?
Well, I feel like, I'm satisfied that we scored twice, Jim. I wish we could have got a third touchdown. I felt like we were driving the ball real well, but time became a crucial factor, and then our drive kind of stalled after we were, had a losing play there, a negative play, lost yardage play. But all in all, I'm glad that we scored twice, and I hope we can put some more scores on the board this second half.
With the way the game's going, do you think both teams will be able to keep the stamina up?
Jim, it's a torrid pace. Christian Brothers is very, very physical, and we played a very physical and hard-hitting first half. Jim, the team that keeps up this pace will probably win the ball game, and I sure hope it's the Red Devils.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Jim.
Back to you, Hart.
We're back here at Germantown Field, and right now, before we have the second half kickoff, Greg has some stats for us on that first half.
Okay, these are the unofficial stats Germantown High School staff has compiled. For first down, CBHS has 6, Germantown High School has 10. Rushes yards, CBHS has 13 rushes for 84 yards. Germantown High School has 21 rushes for 153 yards. Looks like Germantown's controlling the ground game. Passing yardage, CBHS has 3, Germantown High School has 20. Passes, 4 attempts by CBHS, 1 completed. Germantown High School had 6 attempts and 2 completions. Punts for CBHS, there were 2 punts for a 36 average. Germantown High School had 2 for a 32 average. Fumbles, there were 2 by CBHS, none by Germantown High School. None of these fumbles were lost, by the way. Penalties and yardage, CBHS had 2 penalties for 10 yards. Germantown High School had 1 penalty for 5 yards. Time of possession, CBHS had 14 minutes and 14 seconds. Germantown High School had the ball for 9 minutes and 36 seconds. Total yardage, 121 yards for CBHS and 185 yards for Germantown High School. Some individual statistics. Rushing, Howard Moss had 14 rushes for 53 yards. Rob Arthur had 7 rushes for 65 yards. Sofker of CBHS had 7 rushes for 50 yards.
Thank you, Greg. The second half is just about ready to start. Before we go turn it over to John Jolly, who will do the second half play-by-play, I'd like to say that this first series of down will be very important. Germantown has a 14-0 lead. Germantown will kick off to start the second half. CBHS Purple Wave will receive, and I believe Tom Nix, who's a veteran coach and knows his business, has these boys geared to play football. And I just hope that the defense is geared just enough to stop that Purple Wave offense. I was very impressed with the execution. We played well. Our defensive teams made the stops when they needed. Good, clean football game. No major penalties. A few illegal procedures, offsides, but nothing, no unsportsmanlike conduct, and no major penalties. Like I say, we're moments away from the kickoff, and I'd like to take this time to remind you of our next home game, and it's next Friday night. I believe it's South Haven.
I believe it's West Memphis.
West Memphis Blue Devils will be here next Friday night. And if anybody went to West Memphis last year, you remember what an exciting game that was. And I imagine the Blue Devils want to get a little revenge on Germantown next Friday night. Before I turn it over to John Jolly for the second half play-by-play, Greg, have you got any final comments?
Well, I think what you said earlier, Hart, was the key. It's the defense, really. We do have that 14-point lead, and the offense seems to be able to move the ball. If the defense can overcome their inexperience and show the tenacity they have shown in the first half, I think Germantown is in for a good second half.
Thank you, Greg. We're ready to play football. John Jolly, take us on to our second victory of the 1982 season.
I certainly hope I'm able to, Hart. We're ready to go here. Witt, number 19 for the Red Devils, is ready to kick off. The ball has been teed up now. Back deep for the Purple Wave. These jerseys are a little tough to pick up the numbers sometimes. It's a high kick going down to number 14.
Bennett, number 14.
Number 14, Michael Bennett is the Purple Wave who takes the ball and brings it back up to about the 34-yard line. Let's call it the 33-yard line where it's 1st and 10 for the Purple Wave from that point.
That was a tenacious tackle by number 24, Hugh Dixon. Dixon, number 24, is 5'9", 160 pounds, and he just jumped on Mr. Bennett and brought him down to the terra firma.
Okay, ready to go here. The quarterback is Andy Green for the Purple Wave. The handoff is to the big boy, Sofka. Bulls over the left side, and again, they're starting exactly. It's a first down for the Christian Brothers Purple Wave as they move that ball upfield to about the 45-yard line.
That was Moss was on that tackle along with Elliott Watts.
Well, I hope this is not the indication of things to come in the second half, because they were doing that successfully for a while there, and then Germantown shut them down. Once again, Green takes a snap. It's a pitch back. This time it's good. Again, it's to number 48, Sofka, who around the left side and picks up about, let's call it 5 yards on the play. That'll bring up second about 5. The ball now spotted at about the 47-yard line in Purple Wave territory.
That was a good example of gang tackling by the Germantown defense there, John. It seemed the first to stop the CBH rusher was number 70, Scott Tabor, and number 71, Darrell Bowie.
Okay, once again, Purple Wave, Green the man under, takes a snap, rolling to the right, still rolling, going to keep that ball, going wild around the right side, picks up, looks like maybe enough yards for the first down. And the official is signaling a first down for the Christian Brothers Purple Wave.
That was Arthur and Kitchens on that stop on the far side. This is something I was concerned with at the beginning of the third quarter. They received the ball. Tom Nix has got his charges up, and they're moving the football, and Germantown has got to dig in.
I believe this is the first time tonight we've seen Green, the quarterback, really take the ball and tuck it in and run with it. He did a nice job that time to pick up the first down. Green handing off this time again to the big boy, Sofka, to the right side, but the Devils have it pretty much figured out.
Right. That's what we're going to have to do. Just play basic football, John. Don't just try to hit them hard and hit them low. And I'll be the last man getting off at the ground is number 71, Mr. Darrell Bowie, who made that initial stop along with Whitaker.
Jay Duggins was again in on the tackle there for Germantown.
Jay Duggins, number 79, has made his presence known.
Once again, a lot of movement here, and the flags go down. Let's wait for the officials this time. We're not going to try to guess who was guilty of the.
Come on, John, give me a chance. I've got to improve my 50%. It's too late now.
The legal procedure against the Christian Brothers team, that'll move them back 5 yards. Give Germantown a little more breathing room there as the ball is moved back now to about the 43-yard line. The 47-yard line in Germantown territory.
There again, penalty was a drawback to the sustaining drive for Christian Brothers. It's happened several times tonight.
Second and 14 now for Christian Brothers as they come out in the I formation. Green the man under. Green takes the ball, drifting back to pass. Still drifting back. Now let's go of it. It's thrown incomplete into the hands of number 14.
That was Bennett.
That would be Michael Bennett, but it bounced out. A nicely thrown ball. Bennett just couldn't hang on to it. Hit him right on the numbers, and it was incomplete. So
Number 80, Mike McGee, 6 foot 166 cornerback, a senior for Germantown, was on that coverage.
Hart, that's the first time the CBHS quarterback, number 10, Andy Green, has had time to throw. That time his offensive line did very well in protecting him.
I imagine Coach Nix had something to do with that.
Okay, ready to go once again. I formation for the CBHS team. Green the man under. Green again fading back to pass. This time turns it loose over the middle. It's knocked away nicely by the defender. We can't pick up his number yet on the ground. Who is that, Hart?
That looks like number 69, Elliott Watts was the man in the right place then.
It was a nicely thrown pass into the middle, but Watts stepped in and knocked it away, and that'll bring up 4th down for the Purple Wave. Back in punch formation. Number 45, Chris Coppage, back for the Red Devils to receive. Waiting the snap. Kick is up in the air, not a real high kick. Going into Coppage, feels it nicely and slips down.
That's a shame, John, because that's the kind of kick you can get a run back before the defense has a chance to set up. He just couldn't get his momentum going then.
Ball's going to be spotted around the 17-yard line. Let's see where he finally spots it. About the, I'll call it the 16-yard line, where the Devils will set up 1st and 10 from that point.
Tackle on that last play is number 33, Gary Starum. He's a 175-11 junior from Christian Brothers High School.
Okay, Devils ready to go now. Out to the line. Arthur is the man under, set in the regular wish. Arthur on the keep, still running wide, still keeping the ball, still trying to go wide, but he's giving ground and he's knocked out of bounds. A nice defensive play by the Christian Brothers team.
Number 81, Mark Hooper, was there on the tackle for CBHS. That's the first time going around the side. It looks like CBHS has contained Arthur and his running backs they can pitch back to. They strung out Arthur all the way across. He had nowhere to go to. That was a fine defensive play by CBHS.
Yeah, Hooper made the stop, but number 31, we'll have to give him some credit. He kind of slowed Arthur down at Tom Skinner.
Number 40, Mark Bowen, checks into the Germantown lineup, replacing number 17, Paul West. The handoff here goes to Howard Moss, a fumble, and looks like the Purple Wave may have fell on it. Let's wait for the officials to give the signal. It is a recovery by the CBHS team. Oh, what a break. What a break for Christian Brothers High School. Moss took the ball, came through the right side. The ball seemed to just pop out of his hands as he made through the line of scrimmage and fell on the ground. It was immediately recovered by CBHS, and they're in business. And the ball now is spotted at about the 22-yard line in the Germantown end of the field, and that spells trouble. So now the Germantown defense is going to have to come to life to shut down the Christian Brother drive. Green, the man under. I formation for Christian Brothers. Green's keeping. Now the pitch out to number 48, Sofka. He's going to go out around the right, and the big guy is able to pick up about 5 or 6 yards before he's brought down.
That was Mark Bowen, transfer from Florida, that made the stop.
In fact, it was a pickup of about 7 yards on the play. That'll bring up second and about 2 for the Christian Brothers team. A nice run.
John, as I said earlier in the cable cast, mistakes might play a big part in this game, and that was one of our crucial mistakes we made this year.
And immediately we see another mistake on the other side, and that was that the snap from center was mishandled by Green, the quarterback, but he was able to fall on his own fumble and recover the ball. No gain on the play. That'll bring up third and still about, call it about 2 yards.
This is another big play. Third down, 3rd and 2. Ball spotted just inside the 15-yard line.
Okay, CBHS comes out now. I formation once again. Green the man under. Takes the snap. Hands off in there to one of the big backs. Kind of hard to tell on that play exactly which. Sofka once again was the ball carrier.
That was our defensive player of the week, Mark Bowen, number 40, on the stop, along with
Pick up possibly a yard on the play. Give them that. It's going to be 4th and it's about a yard and a half, really. And this is a real test for Germantown now, as CBHS has the ball, 4th and about a yard and a half to go. And the quarterback takes it through the middle. Let's see, did he make it?
I believe he's got it, John.
The officials are signaling a first down. So Green took the ball, dialed his own number, went right up the middle behind the blocking of the big forward wall of the CBH team, picks up the first down. Now they're deep in Germantown territory, and a real test is coming up for the Germantown defense.
I believe you can call it 1st and goal because it's spotted right on the Germantown 10-yard line.
High formation once again for Christian Brothers. Green takes the snap, hands off to the big man, number 44, Bell, who goes into the end zone for the touchdown.
That's that man we were talking about earlier in the cable cast, Greg Bell. He's 6'3". He weighs about 225, and he just muscled his way into the end zones, and he just went in standing up. He broke one tackle at the line of scrimmage. With 6:22 left in the third quarter, Germantown leads Christian Brothers 14-6 with a try for the extra point coming up. Number 38 will try for that extra point, John.
Christian Brothers wasted no time getting in the end zone. Right. Number 38, Solly, no good. The kick is wide to the right.
Hard on the rush for Germantown. Number 80 there was Mike McGee, 6 foot 166 pound.
So our score here in the third quarter is Germantown 14 and Christian Brothers 6.
I think Greg's got some stats on this last drive for Christian Brothers. Greg?
The unofficial stats we have on that drive, it was a 22-yard drive. It started at the Germantown 22. It was started by a fumble by Howard Moss. The last play was a 12-yard run by Bell. It was 5 plays, and it took 2 minutes and 22 seconds.
John, Greg Bell is a big man. He's a strong runner. They haven't used him as much as Sofaker tonight, but when it came down to the pay dirt, they gave it to their money man, Greg Bell, and he made a fine 12-yard run for the 10-yard run for the score.
No doubt about that, Hart. And now it's going to really show the character of the Germantown team to be able to come back from adversity such as a fumble on their own 22 and giving up a touchdown to see if they can take that ball and move it back downfield and get their lead back to where it was. There's the kickoff going deep to Coppage. The Germantown Red Devils. Coppage coming upfield. He's across the 35 down to the 30. A fumble, and again the Purple Wave has the football.
That was Mark Hankins, 200-pound tackle, 6 foot 2.5 senior from Christian Brothers High School, recovered Coppage fumble, and they came in pairs. Germantown has just got to settle down now, get their composure back. They've had 2 breaks, tough breaks, 2 fumbles, but I believe these young men have the caliber to get their composure back and dig in and stop this fine CBHS Purple Wave team.
Ready to go now. CBHS in the eye with Green the man under. Green barking the signals. Takes the snap. Hands off to number 44, the big boy, Bell, up the middle, but Germantown's waiting for him. Pick up maybe a yard.
Number 40, Mark Bowen, was leading the tacklers for Germantown there on that play.
Man shaking up on the field. Buzz Walthall, I think, just had a little wind knocked out of him. I don't believe it'll be necessitate a timeout. Kitchens will replace Buzz Walthall.
After they've gotten one and taken it in for a touchdown from Germantown. Once again, the I formation. Green takes the ball. The pitch, bad pitch, but it's picked up nicely by Sofka, who drives over the left side and drives down somewhere inside let's call it the 23-yard line in Germantown, where it's going to bring up third down and about 2 for the Christian Brother High School team.
Moss hit him first, and then 69 Elliott Watts was the man that finally brought him down there. And another fine run by Brett Sofker, a fine running back from Christian Brothers High School. They've got a good 1-2 punch with Sofker and Bell.
No doubt about it. Neither one of them would be extremely fast broken field runners, but they're very powerful boys, and they have really picked up some yards tonight against the Germantown defense. This is the quarterback going up the middle, and let's see if he picked up the first down. It's going to be very close. The officials are signaling a timeout, and let's see if he signals the first down, and yes, he does. It's a first down, and once again, for Christian Brothers, as they're operating now just barely inside the 20-yard line, and Germantown into the field. Again, Hart, it's time. It's getting crucial time.
Right, that was Emmett Whitaker that made that last stop, the nose guard, 180-pound senior and co-captain for tonight's game. Let's get in and stop this drive, John.
Okay. Now we're in a pro set with a man in motion. That'd be Sopka, 48 in motion, and the quarterback rolling out the right is on the keeper. He tries to pick a hole through the right side. Germantown defense makes a nice play. Pick up probably about 2 yards on the play. Let's call it second and about 8 for Christian Brothers.
That was Howard Moss and Emmett Whitaker again on the tackle. Whitaker having another fine game tonight at nose guard for Germantown. Greg, we got to get this defensive dug in here. They're moving that ball at will, looks like. They're picking us off 3 and 4 yards at a time.
Now's the time to stop.
High formation once again for Christian Brothers. Green is the quarterback. Green rolling back. A pitch back goes to 48 Sopka again. He goes around the left side, and he finds some yardage there.
That was Chris Hammond, number 33, that made that tackle.
He's moved that ball up to about the 12-yard line, where it's going to bring up the third down and about 1. Third and a long yard. The ball just outside the 10-yard line in Germantown territory, and here comes another crucial down for the Red Devils.
They're bringing in Mr. Bennett. He's a messenger and also a split end.
All right. Christian Brother up the line of scrimmage. Once again, now they're in the wishbone this time. And the quarterback keeps the ball. Andy Green tries to dive through the middle. I don't believe he made the first down. We'll wait the officials to spot the ball. Possibly a pickup of about a yard on the play, but I don't believe it's quite enough for the first down. Let's wait for the officials to spot it.
Christian Brothers is playing.
And he's signaling fourth down, so he did not make it. He's shy by about 6 inches.
Greg, Christian Brothers is playing old-fashioned football. They're just going at the center of the line, nothing fancy, just handoffs, and it's just penetrating the center of our line. We've got some new men in there now, and let's make a note of that because it's beefing up the center of that line. I believe number 79, Jay Duggins, just came in. Number 66, Don Lewis. So, John.
Extremely crucial play here. Fourth down and inches for them, and I guess they're going to try the same thing, and they do. We have to wait the officials to spot. It's going to be very close for the first down. Wait for the officials to spot the ball to see if, in fact, he did clear that 6 inches that are needed. No, he's going to call in the chain for a measurement.
Christian Brothers players are signaling for first down, but I believe they want to.
The official is going to call in the chain gang and make a measurement here to see. Let's keep our fingers crossed, because if Germantown was able to hold on this and take over, it certainly stopped another potential touchdown drive by the Purple Wave of Christian Brothers High School.
By the length
it
of
is
football.
The first down. Another first down for the Purple Wave, and they're staying on the move. The ball is slightly inside the 10-yard line, so it's first and goal to go from that point for Christian Brothers, as they have taken another Germantown fumble and moved it downfield from the 31 now to inside the 10. First and goal to go from that point.
John, this is exactly where they were just moments ago when Mr. Bell took it over. Let's watch for Mr. Bell on this carry.
Okay, out of the line of scrimmage comes Christian Brothers. I formation. Andy Green, the quarterback. Green taking it on the pitch, going wide to Sopka this time. Sopka trying to find a hole to drive in. He picked up possibly about 4 yards on the play. He's, well, let's call it, let's say 3 yards on the play, down to about the 7-yard line, just outside the 7.
That was number 80 on a fine tackle there. That's
Mike McGee.
Mike McGee, Greg. Thank you. 166 cornerback.
Second and goal to go from the 7-yard line, in Germantown into the field. Christian Brothers set once again in the pro set. The quarterback's rolling right, still rolling, and into the end zone for a touchdown. That was number 10, Andy Green, who took the ball, rolled to the right, took it around right in and into the end zone from 7 yards out for the touchdown to make it now 14 for Germantown, 12 for Christian Brothers High School with a try for point to come.
I would think that CBHS would go for it too since they missed that extra point, but it looks like they're setting up for the just a normal extra point, not going for the two-point play.
It seems that way. It's early in the second half, but I always look for a fake, but that seems like they're going for the 1 point.
Yeah, number 38, Solly. Oh, they're going to, it's a fake. Number 14, that would be Bennett's trying a pass. That's complete. An official signal it, so now we have a tie game on our hands. 14-14 as
he was hit right on as he went in the goal line. He had his momentum that took him on over there. He didn't have any room to spare, but it was enough to make it 2 points and tie this ball game up. With about 42 seconds left in the third period, Germantown 14, Christian Brothers High School 14. And John and Greg, we've got a ball game on our hands, and I was afraid of this. I've never seen as many people at a high school football game in Germantown, and I've been following for about 15 to 20 years. They're just standing in the end zones, in the north end zones, and we've got a ball game on our hands. And folks, we have got to dig in because we're in a ball game now. They scored on 2 fumble recoveries, and as soon as we have a moment or two, we're going to let Greg tell you the stats on that last drive.
Okay, ready to go now. Number 38, Solly, is ready to kick off for the Christian Brothers team. Coppage is deep. The kick goes to Coppage. Coppage fields it, bringing it down the middle of the field. Still going, and is finally brought down at about the 35-yard line in Germantown territory, where Germantown will set up 1st and 10 from that point.
Coppage made a fine run. He tucked that ball in his chest that time. Brought it back to the 35.
Looks like we have a player down for the Purple Wave. Can't pick up his number.
Mark Hankins made that last tackle for Christian Brothers. We have one player that's limping off, number 81 on the far side.
Well, how quickly can it change? How quickly can it change? 2 fumbles by Germantown, 1 on the running play from about 22 yards out, another on the ensuing kickoff after Christian Brothers had taken that fumble and in the end zone for the touchdown by Coppage at the 31, and Christian Brothers team just moved it right into the end zone to then try to fake point after, and the pass was good for the 2 points, and we've got a tie ball game at 14-14, and Germantown now has to show what they've got. Arthur taking the handoff. Looks like he's giving off that time to number 21, Johnny Jacobson, who moves across the 35 out to close to the 40-yard line. He's going to spot it on about the 39.5-yard line.
Tom Skinner, number 31, was there for CBHS making the stop.
I believe Greg Bell was also on that tackle, Greg. He plays linebacker on defense.
That's the end of the third quarter, ladies and gentlemen, with a score: Germantown High School 14, Christian Brothers High School 14. Got a tie ball game, and boy, has this been a whale of a third quarter. It's not exactly what we wanted, but we got it nevertheless. 2 mistakes by Germantown has led to 2 touchdowns, and obviously the fake try for extra point for the pass for the touchdown put this ball game in a tie position. So it's 14-14, Germantown and Christian Brothers with a quarter to go, and it should be an exciting one.
Greg, would you like to give us those stats for that last drive for Christian
Unofficial
Brothers?
stats we have for that last drive. CBHS started their drive after a fumble on that kickoff return by number 45, Chris Coppage. They started on the 31-yard line. They took 8 plays to run 31 yards. They had to work for what they got, although they still got it. The last play of the drive was a 6-yard run around the right end by Green. That's one thing I noticed during that drive. Whenever they needed yardage, they always seemed to go out to the side on an option play, either to the right or left side, and they would gain several yards, 5 to 6 yards each time. Seems Germantown's defense is having a small problem containing them to the inside and not letting them get to the outside.
Okay, Germantown's up the line of scrimmage now. 2nd down, 6 yards to go. Arthur the man under, setting the standard wishbone. Handoff to Arthur. He gives out wide to Moss on a nice defensive play by number 65 of Christian. Who would that be?
That was Lance Flynn, who made a fine open field tackle to save a big gain for Germantown.
Probably about a yard loss on the play. That'll bring up 3rd and about 5. third and about 6, I guess it would be, for the Red Devils as they operate from just inside their own 40-yard line. Here it's a crucial series of downs for Germantown now because they got to come back and show what they're made from. Standard wishbone. Now they go into a set. Arthur takes a snap, hand off to Moss, makes a big break to the right side. Looks like he may have the first down. He's still going.
That's Mighty Moss again, John. He made a beautiful run. He's a heady runner. He can pick his holes. He knows where he keeps his head up. He knows where he is at all times on the football field, and that was a big play, third down play.
Big play for Germantown because they needed to show what it was made from, Hart. There's no doubt about that. After being rocked on their heels with 2 straight touchdowns, that was Moss who took it very nicely, swivel-hipped his way through the line, and then made a little juke or two to bring it down for the first down. Ball at about the 47. Germantown has it. There's Arthur keeping the ball. Now he's deciding to run with it. Going upfield, cuts upfield nicely. Up inside the 35-yard line. First down for Germantown. Bob Arthur on the carry. Takes it across the left side on the keeper and moves that ball up to inside the 35 in Christian Brothers territory. First and 10 from that point from Germantown.
He actually jumped over Scott Robinson, Greg, and I believe the tackle was made by number 14, Michael Bennett.
Ready to go once again. Arthur, quarterback, the hand off to Coppage. He drives on the hole through the left side. Picks up probably about 3 or 4 yards on the play. Looked like that play was going to develop for more to start with.
John, you know, there's something I've noticed that's happening on this drive that hasn't been happening during the third quarter and the last part of the second quarter. Germantown's offensive line is taking charge once again. They're blowing the CBHS people out of line, giving room for runners to go up that line and make the yardage that we need to be making.
Chuck Lanza made that last tackle, John. Fine linebacker for Christian Brothers.
Wishbone to the wide set now. Arthur hands off again to Moss. Moss going out wide. Almost broke it. But gets up close to a first down, but we'll wait for the officials to spot the ball and see exactly where it's going to be. I believe it's going to be a little shy. Third and about 2. The ball just inside the 25-yard line, about the 27-yard line in Christian Brother territory.
John, I've got some, I'll wait till the next time between the next plays to tell you some of the third quarter unofficial stats that we have.
Okay, once again, shifting out of that straight wishbone. Arthur, the man under, taking the ball. He looks like he's going with it again. He's running into difficulty. Tries to move across the left side.
Rob was looking for that first down.
The official signals a first down for the Red Devils.
There's an interesting story told by the third quarter statistics. The first downs by both teams, CBHS had 6, Germantown had none. As you remember, after the first half, Germantown had 10 versus CBHS's 6. It seems CBHS during the third quarter took control of the ball movement.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Andy, for those.
All right, out of the shift of the wishbone now. Arthur, the man under, takes that snap, hands off to Ross. Moss up the middle. Quick hitter there for about 4 or 5 yards. Let's wait for the official to spot the ball.
The most telling statistic of the third quarter probably was the total yardage. CBHS had 97 yards and Germantown only had 32. It's about an exact bout face of the previous 2 quarters of ball.
Greg, there's a timeout on the field charged to Christian Brothers. That Chuck Lanza made that last tackle. He's a fine college prospect at 200 pounds. Make that 231 pound, 6'3" senior. I believe he's a transfer from Pittsburgh. And we're moving the ball. We're getting the momentum back. We hope we can continue it. It's second down, 2nd and 5. Execution, hold on to that football, right?
You're right there, Hart. Like I said before, I believe the battle on one of the games like this is won on that offensive and defensive line. Whoever controls that line can control whether the ball is moved or not.
I'd like to comment on the crowd again tonight, John. It looks like we got a full house plus SRO, and we enjoying bringing you this telecast, the Germantown Television Cable Channel 7 and their staff. Love to have you out here live with the excitement of the crowd, but we're glad to have you at home as our audience. We hope you're enjoying the cablecast as much as this crew is enjoying bringing it to you. Excuse me, John, one other thing. Don't forget next Friday night at 8 o'clock, West Memphis Blue Devils against the Red Devils.
There's not anything like being here live, is there, Hart, at a high school football game, because we have certainly seen a quarter of exciting action as the official.
It's nothing like it.
And we invite you to come out if you possibly can. Please be here in person and join in the excitement, the fun. It's just a thrill to be here in the stands and be watching this live. If for some reason you cannot make it to the ball game, we hope you'll be listening to us. Each of the home games this year. Germantown set up now, shifting out of the wishbone once again. Arthur, the quarterback. Arthur elects to keep again. This time it pitches wide to Coppage. He's going wide. He's going for touchdown.
John, that was a heady play by Rob Arthur. He had pulled in the whole Christian Brothers defensive backfield, and at the last second made a beautiful pitch out to Coppage. Coppage took it in and took it in for the Germantown score. Now we've got to play some defense.
Super play. That time Rob Arthur waited to the very last minute. In fact, it looked all the way like he was going to keep that ball. And at the very last minute, he turned and pitched to his trailing back Coppage, who had clear sailing in the end zone for a touchdown. The score now 20, Germantown 14, with a drive a point to come. This will be Mike McPherson, number 30, will be the man to attempt the point after. Waiting for the snap back. It's down, it's fumble, and it'll be no good.
Well, that was the first mishandled extra point attempt this year. We hope it won't come back to haunt us. Now we've got to give the defense, tell them to go take it to them. All right, Greg.
Art, the stats on that last drive. Germantown traveled 65 yards in 7 plays. Really was getting a lot of yardage on each play. Probably the most exciting play of the drive was the 18-yard run by Coppage. That last pitch out by Rob Arthur in the hands of the defender right to Chris Coppage, who had clear sailing, as John said, into the end zone. The drive took 3 minutes and 38 seconds.
That's a beautiful play. I hope to see that on a replay sometime. That's only the thing I believe the Germantown Television Cable Channel 7 doesn't have is an instant replay. They have the finest equipment I've seen for a situation like this that I know of. John, we've got to play some defense for the next 8 minutes and 22 seconds.
Well, I'm encouraged and impressed by the fact that Germantown showed the character to take that football after letting them, with 2 mistakes tie up the game, to come back and take it in for the touchdown. The kickoff to number 14, Michael Bennett of the Purple Wave, and he's coming up the right side. He's still on his feet. And looks like number 40,
that's Bowen again.
Mark Bowen was in to make the stop on number 14, Michael Bennett.
That was shades of last Friday night, Greg. He went up the center. We had a miss. The defensive kickoff team has certain areas to cover. And last Friday night, someone missed their assignment. Now, he almost broke it up the center that time.
Mark Bowen made an excellent tackle. He came from behind on the running back and caught him, not exactly coming from behind, but coming from the side. A good tackle by Mark Bowen.
Back to John.
Looks like Christian Brothers set up at the 42-yard line in their own end of the field. It's this time the handoff to one of the big backs. That'd be Safka. And a good stop by the Germantown middle of that line.
Elliott Watts was the first man to hit him. You could hear that crack up here on top of this press box, along with Darrell Bowie. So we've got a fine stop. Let Germantown, let Christian Brothers High School know they're in this ball game, and they gave Mr. Sofker a good hello right there. Pick up about a yard.
Okay, ready to go back to play once again. Christian Brothers coming up the line of scrimmage, setting up in the regular I formation with Green, the quarterback. Green takes the snap, fading back to pass, still fading, throws it over. Oh! Almost intercepted by a Germantown defender, and then it bounced off and almost was caught by Mark Hooper, number 81 for the Purple Wave, and fortunately it fell away incomplete.
Almost an interception, almost a completion. Yes, Greg.
Michael Bennett, number 14 of CBHS, has a 20.5 average on his kickoffs. He's taken 4 kickoffs for 102 yards. A very good average for a kickoff return.
Right, we want to hold into that or less.
Crucial down for the Red Devils now, 3rd and about 9.
Let's look for a play, John, a pass play, John.
Would be obvious to either run the option or run a pass at this point in time because they have not had much luck going up the middle lately. And it's this time Green dropping back the pass, throws to the big man, Bell. Bell has the first down, but there's a flag down.
I'm not going to second guess the officials, but on a screen play, sometimes you have somebody leave a little early.
Well, the officials signaled the first down. However,
number 43, Mark Rich, was there to stop Bell on that play.
Evidently, there wasn't a flag on the play.
I thought I saw a yellow flag flying, but I am not sure exactly what happened. But there is some discussion on the officials' part. Maybe I didn't see a flag. Maybe I was just hoping for a flag. Possibly it was a piece of equipment which fell on the field instead of a flag. It looked something went flying up just as the play began to unravel there, and it looks like that. Well, there's still some discussion going on out on the field with the officials. There's a timeout now signaled by the official. Illegal procedure, and I was not wrong. I did see a flag.
We are not
illegal procedure. Illegal procedure signaled against the Purple Wave, and that will rub out that nice run, bring the ball back, and a 5-yard penalty coming up.
Well, John, there was some confusion with the referees. They brought the chains in at one time, and they said, no, we've got a penalty on the play. They picked the flag up and put it in their pocket so fast, but I knew I saw one. I'm not losing my mind, I hope. I know we're oldest members of this cablecasting team, but I hope we hadn't gotten that senile.
Hart, I was beginning to think my eyesight was really fading, even though I wear glasses, but I was almost sure that I saw a yellow flag fly just as that play began to take place. But after all the confusion, I was beginning to wonder.
Well, it was a big play for both teams, a disheartening play for Christian Brothers, and a fortunate play for Germantown. Let's see if Germantown can take advantage of it.
3rd and 13 for the Brothers team now. This time Green is back to pass, still back, going along, and way up. Defender coming in, that's Arthur, intercepted.
Rob Arthur had his eyes on that ball the whole way, and at the last minute he went up and picked it off. He is a very smart football player. He didn't commit himself to the last minute. I believe that was number 40. He was the intended receiver, Greg.
You're right, Hart. That was a perfect play for Rob Arthur. He just hung back way until just about to be caught by the CBHS defender, cut right in front of him and took the ball away. And excellent.
Greg Bell was intended receiver.
I'm not sure who was receiving there for CBHS.
But it was a beautiful play by Arthur. Let's take it off. Take it away.
Okay, here we go with Germantown up the line of scrimmage. Standard wishbone. Arthur takes the ball, hands off to Moss, tries it through the left side and stumbles and trips just as he hits that line of scrimmage, but the official's going to spot the ball down at about the, let's call it the 36-yard line. Pick up of about 4, 2nd and 6 from that point.
John, what we really need here is a good long ground drive, a drive taking 5 or 6 minutes and in most of the rest of the game. If we can do that, we can stop CBHS from scoring.
Here we go. Hand off this time once again to Moss. Moss is having difficulty to the left side, and he stopped for a loss.
That was number 85 on the tackle, Eddie Clank, 145, 5'10".
That time the Purple Wings were all ready for him on the left side as he tried to ball him through, but there's just nothing here for him. About a half-yard loss on the play, so that'll bring up 3rd and about 6.5. They're operating just inside the 35-yard line. They're on the end of the field. Wishbone, regular wishbone set. Now they break out into a flanker set. Arthur keeping the ball, gives a little fake back like he's going to throw it back to Coppage. Instead, he keeps it, takes it around the right side, moves it up to about the 39-yard line.
John, we've got about 5 minutes left in the cable cast, and as Greg says, if we can continue to grind him out on the ground, but he did not have enough yardage to pick up the first down. But what now? We have to keep him. Field position again is so important. We've got to keep them at their end of the field.
Well, it's obvious kicking down. Obviously, the ball being on their own 38-yard line, they're not going to risk anything, so they're going to punt. Number 14, Walthall, is back in punt formation. Single safety back for the Purple Wave. The punt is up in the air. It's a long kick, not high but long. He's fielded and fumbled, and he has to fall on it. And number 20, Stacy Brown, was the Christian Brothers player who caught the ball and let it get away from him and almost lost the handle on it totally, was able to recover and fall on it to recover the ball, and Christian Brothers will set up from their own 19-yard line, 1st and 10 from that point.
Emmett Whitaker was right there on the spot in case he coughed up that football. That was fortunate because it was a low kick, and those, like I say, those are the kind of kicks that can be run back for big yardage. But he mishandled it, and so they start their drive inside their 20, just barely inside. Let's call it 21.
Score with 4:11 left in the game. Germantown 20, CBHS 14.
Here we go. High formation for Christian Brothers. Green the man under. Green hands it off to number 20. That would be
Stacy
Brown, who tries the left side on a misdirection play.
Mark Bowen, our fine defensive linebacker, who was elected Defensive Player of the Week last week.
Pickup of about 4 yards on the play. Bring up 2nd and about 6 now for Christian Brothers as they're operating just inside their own 25. Here we're playing late in the 4th quarter. Germantown really needs now to step it up and hold the Christian Brothers team, run this clock out to win this ball game tonight. They cannot afford any mistakes. They cannot afford any long gains. High formation for Christian Brothers. Green is the man under. Green is fading back to pass, still fading. Now he's running into trouble, and he's sacked for a loss.
There you go. The best adage for pass defense is rushing that passer. Darrell Bowie.
That time, Mr. Green, who had good success in throwing the ball a few plays earlier, dropped back to pass, but he looked up to see a bunch of red shirts all around him, and he was smothered. Incidentally, a moment ago on that nice interception by Rob Arthur, that ball was thrown very high with it, which gave the defensive back a good opportunity to come in and make the interception, and Arthur played it perfectly. So let's see what CBHS is going to do here as they're operating 3rd and 13. High formation, and once again, Green's back to pass. He's decided to run with it, pulls it down. He's trying to make it downfield. He's breaking. That's down. I believe it's going to be 1st down yardage if the official, if that play stands up, and I see no reason, no flags. It is a 1st down.
They stopped the clock on the 1st down, John, but it'll start running. He did not get out of bounds on that play. In fact, Germantown pulled him back there, so he will not go.
That time, Green went back to pass. Back to pass once again, and he couldn't find a receiver. He was being rushed. Pulled the ball down, took it around the right side for a nice run of about 12 yards for a 1st down for Christian Brothers. Now Germantown's going to have to dig in to see if they can stop him. High formation once again for the Purple Wave. Green the man under. Green fading back to pass. Still fading, still fading. Now he's trying to run with it. He's in trouble, and he's down. Loss on the play of about a yard. That'll bring up 2nd down and about 11.
Emmett Whitaker was on the stop there for Germantown, number 18.
That was Green being brought down by Whitaker.
Emmett Whitaker, another fine game. I believe he's the man. No, that was Bowen. I understand Bowen has a knee injury that he has received early, not before he came to Germantown, and they're very concerned with this. I hope this hasn't been a reoccurrence of that knee injury. 64 is prepared to come in for Germantown. Ricky McMillan, another transfer from Indiana who played on the Indiana State championship team.
1:40 left in the ball game now. If Germantown can hold them, they can come out winning this game. CBHS has the ball, 2nd and about 11, as they're operating now from about the 33-yard line in their own end of the field.
John, we've got 1 minute and 33 seconds. We've got now Germantown takes a timeout. Evidently, Leland Smith saw something he didn't like in this pass defense coverage. This is a very important series of downs. In fact, this is the ball game.
Well, the main thing is, Hart, is they can't let them break for the big one, because with only a minute 30 left in the game.
Right now, I believe we have an interview with Darrell Bowie on the sidelines. That's Jim Jenkins.
Came at the ball pretty good. made some good tackles.
What sort of improvements do you think need to be made for the team and for yourself?
Well, for the team, I think we need to be speed, and we got some pretty good teams coming against us this year. West Memphis, Arkansas, they pretty good. We got to speed up our speed. We got to speed up our speed. We got to speed up our speed.
How confident are you that you can win against CBHS?
Well, I feel this confident.
Back at Germantown Field, Christian Brothers High School is prepared to bring it back to the line. Take it away, John.
Okay, Christian Brothers up now. High formation. Green the man under. Green takes a snap. Rolling out to the right. Rolling, still rolling, still rolling. Coming wide. He's picked up some nice yardage, but let's wait for the officials to spot the ball. See if he made the first down.
That was number 89 for Germantown. Make that Elliott Watts, number 69. He played a fine game last week, doing a yeoman job this week.
Got a minute 13 left in the ball game. If Germantown can hold them on this drive, they can win this ball game. We've got a timeout for a measurement. Nice run by number 10, Andy Green, the quarterback, who took the ball, was really fading back to pass, and then elected to bring it down and short. Going to be short by about a foot.
John, we don't want a big play now. If we can just hold them to the short passes, I think we can, and keep them from breaking that big one, we ought to be home free. But this ball game is not over by any means, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a fine ball game, and I hope you've enjoyed the cable cast as we have about a little over a minute.
Third down now, and just inches.
With 1 minute and 13 seconds left in the game, Germantown 20, CBHS 14.
Third and inches for the Purple Wave of Christian Brothers High as they come out of the line of scrimmage, lining up in the regular eye. Green the man under. Green takes a snap, fading back to pass, still fading, being rushed. He breaks though with a run. He's dangerous. He's still running. Gets the first down with a lot of yards to spare there. Andy Green, the quarterback,
on the
fading
stop.
back to pass.
Oh, excuse me, John. On the stop there for Germantown was number 69, Elliott Watts.
43 came up after Watts hit him initially and helped him bring him down.
Timeout on the field, charge to the Purple Wave. Very nice run by the quarterback, Andy Green. He faded back to pass. He was being rushed and tucked that ball in and took it again around the left side, and nice yardage down for the first down. And with 1 minute left in the ball game, it's very important that Germantown shut them down. They're going to come away winning.
That's right, John. We've got 1 minute on the nose to go. They elected to try to fake pass then. They were going to go for it on the fourth down if they didn't make it anyway. But right now, it's getting down to the last minute of the game, and this is what these young men have trained for all summer, all fall, and this week. The big play.
Chris Kelly, number 85, came in the game for Germantown, probably to give him more beef in that lineup, more size, more power coming up off that line, trying to sack that quarterback. They seem to have some trouble containing him. They're getting good rush off the line, but they're not quite getting him, and he's getting away and getting that yardage that we can't allow Green to have.
Okay, 1st and 10 now as we go back to play with 1 minute exactly left in this ball game. Germantown leading 22-14. High formation, Green the man under. Green takes a snap, fading back to pass, still fading, throwing a long one, going way downfield. Looks like it may be intercepted. It is by Arthur again for Germantown. He's coming back upfield, still running with it, still moving, and is down. Down on about the 32-yard line, and that should put it away.
John, that was another fine interception by Rob Arthur. A little tempers flew up there on that exchange, but all in all, it's been a good, clean ball game, and that was a big play for our Germantown Red Devils defense, especially Rob Arthur.
Well, again, the quarterback, Green, just threw it up on a long pass. He is a little short of the intended receiver, and Arthur played it perfectly by waiting to the last minute. They run under, make the interception, puts the Red Devils in a good position to, and they're going to fall. He's going to fall on the ball. Just run that clock out, get this game over with, and walk away a 20-14 winner. If something doesn't go haywire here in the last 18 seconds of this game, it's ticking away.
I believe that's the last play, unless Christian Brothers just took a timeout to stop the clock.
With 17 seconds left in the game, Germantown 20, CBHS 14.
Greg, how about this football game? This is what it's all about, isn't it? I said, this is what this football game's all about, isn't it?
Oh, most definitely. It's been a really good game. I think the key to the last part of the game has been Arthur's 2 key interceptions. He's done a perfect job with interceptions. He's hung back, waited for the perfect opportunity to go in and steal that ball from the receiver. He's played cool ball, really perfect ball back there in this strong safety position.
I'm going to tell you, Greg, ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are watching us tonight on German GHS TV cable channel 7, if you're not thinking about how great this football game is and going to be out here in person tonight, then you don't ever want to come out to see a good football game, because we have seen a real Lollapalooza football game if there ever was one. Germantown almost tried to give it to them, but then came back to play very strong game to win it. And that's the ball game. The final score: Germantown 20, the Christian Brothers High School Purple Wave 14, and an exciting football game it was.
And that's the ball game, the second game of the 1982 season. Germantown 20, Christian Brothers 14. Can't say enough about this crowd tonight. It's the largest crowd I've seen at Germantown Field, and I hope we'll fill it up next week when the Germantown Red Devils host the Blue Devils from West Memphis, Arkansas. Greg and John, this has been a super football game. I don't know how we can top it. Germantown gave up 2 touchdowns by fumbles, but they came back with a big play and the big defensive plays by Arthur.
Super ball game, just an outstanding ball game for Germantown to have given up 2 real miscues there that caused touchdown and created touchdowns for the Christian Brother High School team, and then to come roaring back as they did for a touchdown showed real character on the part of the Germantown High School team, and then to make 2 outstanding interceptions, both of them by Rob Arthur. He played that like a center fielder back there, going back for a long fly ball, waiting at the last moment to go in and pick off Green's pass and take it over for Germantown. And man alive, it's been one fine football game. And again, we say, if you have been watching on Channel 7 Germantown High School Cablevision, if you don't think that high school football is thrilling and exciting, then you're not a football fan, because we've really seen it tonight. We hope that next week when we play West Memphis here, that you'll be out with us to see it in person. If for some reason you cannot see the ball game, then we hope you'll be tuned into Channel 7, Cablevision Channel 7, to watch us as we bring you the live action play of the West Memphis Germantown High School game. But that's more for tonight's game. It's just been so thrilling. Hart, I got to ask you to come in and make some comments.
Take a break there, John. And like John says, it has been an exciting game. Greg, I was very impressed the way that after giving up 2 touchdowns on fumbles, that Germantown had the poise to come back. They stuck to the game plan. They executed their plays, and they came up with the big defensive plays when they needed, especially Rob Arthur.
Showed a lot of character by the Germantown offense. The score was 14-0, and then suddenly 2 fumbles, and the score changes and makes it 14-14. And Germantown offense stuck together, came back with an excellent drive. They came back, started getting yardage, 5 or 6 yards up the middle, which they hadn't been doing in the third quarter and the end of the second quarter. Showed a really lot of poise by Rob Arthur leading the offense for Germantown.
Right. And like I say, the defensive team played well tonight. I thought Elliott Watts played well. I thought Emmett Whitaker played well. Mark Bowen, another fine game. The whole defensive interior, it just played super. Leland Smith is fine defensive coach, and he came in on the field, and when they needed to change their alignments, as John said earlier, and Greg both, they did it. It worked, and I'm looking forward to next Friday night.
Let's don't forget Darrell Bowie, too, in that defensive line.
Right.
He did an outstanding job.
Can't forget Darrell Bowie. I tell you, he's a veteran. He's in there, the trenches. When the going gets rough, the tough get going, and Darrell's got to be number 1 on that tough parade.
Don't forget, Hart, that Darrell was the one that stopped that fourth down and 4 yards to go down here when Germantown looked like they were in real trouble. Darrell broke through that line, stopped number 44 Bell from scoring or from getting that first down. Really a good job by Darrell, playing really well off that defensive line.
Has Andy got us some stats, final stats yet? We want to get those as soon as we can. and I'm sure we'll have some interviews on the field with Jim Jenkins shortly. But I just can't say enough about the ball game. And fans, if you wasn't out here tonight, come on out next Friday night. We had a full house tonight when they were standing in the north end zones. It was just a wonderful experience. It's nothing like a high school football game on a Friday night, especially here in Germantown, Tennessee.
We also want to mention that each time we're giving the stats, whether we fail to mention it or not, that they are unofficial, but I think they're pretty accurate. We've been staying pretty close with the official stat keeper. Our statistician and spotters have been doing a super job, as have the camera people and just everybody connected with this.
Excuse me,
all
John.
young people.
John, excuse me. I think we've got an interview down on the field with Jim Gentry, our man on the field.
How'd it go? Fine. Yeah, I'm ready.
We're here with Coach Ken Netherwind and Johnny Jacobson. Coach, after a game like that, how does it feel to come out victorious?
Well, we're awfully proud to win, and it's a great victory for our kids. They worked awful hard tonight to get the ball game, and we made some mistakes, but we were a big enough and a good enough ball club that we overcame the mistakes. That's the type of ball club you look for.
Were there any mental mistakes on Christian Brothers' part that y'all capitalized on?
Well, I don't think it was mental mistakes. They've got a good ball club. We just took advantage of what our kids do best, and we ran the ball straight at them and tried to just, get field position, maintain field position, which we were able to do in the first half. And then in the second half, we had those 2 fumbles and lost field position. They never really stopped our offense. We just stopped ourselves the 2 times we fumbled.
Thank you, Coach. Johnny, how does it feel to be playing again?
Well, it feels pretty good. I knew when I got hurt that I'd be back ready for the Christian Brothers game, though. So it feels good to play again.
How does it feel to come back with the win?
It feels great. We wanted this game really bad. This is one of the toughest games on the schedule, and we really wanted it bad. It feels great.
You ready for next week now?
Yeah, we'll get ready starting tomorrow.
Thank you, Johnny. Back to you, Hart.
Thank you there, Jim. We had Johnny Jacobson on the field there with Jim Jenkins, and we'll have some stats here, the unofficial stats, in just a short time. Well, I don't know the capacity of the Germantown Stadium field, but we were above capacity tonight, and it was an exciting game. I tell you, we couldn't relax a minute, could we?
We certainly couldn't, Art. It was just up and down. In the beginning, it was kind of a strange game in a way, because in the beginning, Germantown jumped out to a quick 14-0 lead as they took the 2 sustained drives in for touchdowns, and then they seemed to, in the second half, come out and 2 mistakes back-to-back gave Christian Brothers the opportunity to tie that score up. And then, again, we just can't say enough for Germantown. They showed the character to take that football and just drive it down the field and put it in the end zone. A beautiful run by Chris Coppage to wind it up. The mishandled try for point left the final score at Germantown High School 20, the Christian Brothers High School 14. But it was an exciting football game.
I hate to interrupt again, John, but I think we got an interview down on the field with Mr. Chisholm, Germantown High School principal.
We're here with Principal Ernest Chisholm. Mr. Chisholm, how does it feel to beat your crosstown rival?
Oh, any win's super, but when you beat your friends, it's just something special.
How do you feel school morale will be next week?
Well, there again, when you're playing people that all the kids know and everything, and we have some kids at Germantown that go to Christian Brothers, and I'm sure that they'll be just as excited Monday as I am right now. I'll hardly be able to talk.
Crowd support was spectacular today. Do you think it's possible that we keep it up this way?
Well, if they come, it certainly makes a difference. I played a lot of football, and I know when you have 5,000 or 6,000 people in the stands hollering, and I would guess tonight 2/3 of that crowd were Germantown supporters, and it makes you play a little harder when you get to that last quarter and you're tired and you got to reach back and get a little something extra. It helps to have someone in the stands rooting you on.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Chisholm.
Thank you.
Back to you, Hart.
Okay, we're back here on top of the roof of the press box here at Germantown High School Stadium, Red Devil Field, and we're still excited. the crowd, just an enormous crowd tonight, an overflow crowd. I think I heard the public address announcer, Doc Posey, say in his 30 years or so that he's been broadcasting or doing the public address games here at Germantown, he's never seen a crowd this large. It was a tremendously large crowd, and certainly the crowd made, I'm sure, some difference in the ball game because they certainly showed support for the Germantown High School Red Devils.
John, we're fortunate having 7 home games this year, and I'm looking forward to being with you and Greg, each one of them. If they get more exciting, though, there's going to be a few gray hairs show up on this old head, but I'm ready for it. I just can't think of anything I'd rather be doing on a Friday night than watching Germantown Red Devil football. How about you, Greg?
Oh, it's a fantastic game. It's a fantastic feeling. I really love being out here announcing these games. It's great being able to do this. It's a real opportunity. I'm really enjoying it.
Greg, I must apologize to you because at the start of the game last week, we were talking, and during the game, we talked about the fact that sooner or later you were going to be our play-by-play man, and we were going to turn it over to you.
Got carried away.
We got so that excited in the fourth quarter here. We've got all about turning it over and let you do some play-by-play.
I think Greg was as excited as we were, but we'll give him the ball here next week.
Yes, we will.
And as a Germantown marching band passes before us,
John Hart, I have the final unofficial game statistics we've compiled. First down, CBHS had 14, Germantown High School had 13. Return yardage, CBHS had 82, Germantown High School had 45 yards. Rushing and yardage, CBHS had 30 rushes for 163 yards. Germantown High School had 48 rushes for 228 yards. Passing yardage, CBHS had 3 yards. Germantown High School had 20 yards. Passes, 8 attemptions by CBHS, only 1 completion and 2 interceptions. Germantown High School had 6 attemptions, 2 completions, and no interceptions. Punts, CBHS had 2 punts, 36-yard average. Germantown High School had 3 punts for a 42-yard average, an excellent average for punting. Penalties and yardage, CBHS had 4 penalties, 20 yards. Germantown High School had 1 penalty and 5 yards. The time of possession, Germantown High School had the ball 18 minutes and 49 seconds. CBHS had the ball 30 minutes and 11 seconds. The total yardage, CBHS had 248 yards. Germantown High School had 293 yards.
Thank you and Andy for those unofficial stats. And as time rolls down on this Friday night, don't forget next Friday night the Blue Devils from West Memphis, Arkansas will be here on the Germantown turf, and we hope to see you out here. If not, watch on Germantown Television, Cable Channel 7, for the telecast next Friday night.
Hart, we would like to acknowledge the Germantown High School administration, faculty, Ernest Chisholm Principal, Germantown Cablevision, technical assistants, Collierville Lumber Company, and the Germantown High School Production Workshop for their enthusiastic support of this presentation. We would like to thank the following people for their contributions. Without their efforts, this production would not have been possible. Producers, David Bryant and Jim Gentry. Director, E.F. Bluestein. Technical Director, Terry Johnston. Cameraman, Jim Barrett and Martin Cutler. Video inserts, Charlotte Jolly. Switcher, John Koski. Audio, Robert Brooks and Rob Manuel. Production Secretary, Jenny Ara. Secretary, Susan Adams. Assistant to the Director, Sarah Savell. Videotape, Gina Malamo. Technicians, Alan Jackson, Chris Parnell, Stuart Locke, and Alice Bott. Statisticians did an excellent job tonight, Andy Shearer and Stuart Healy, and an excellent job by our spotter, Fred Luthart. Set construction, Mark Byrne and Jerry Guess. Alan Jackson, Brad Chafin, and Scott Grounds. Now I'll turn it over to you, John, for a wrap-up.
We'll wrap it up tonight, ladies and gentlemen, before an overflow crowd here at Red Devil Field on the campus of Germantown High School. The Germantown Red Devils come out victorious in Game 2. Their record now goes to 2 wins and no losses as they pull out a hard-fought but an exciting football game against the Christian Brothers High School Purple Wave. So this is John Jolly now on behalf of Hart Toller, Greg Dennis, our sideline man Jim Gentry, and the whole crew from Cable Channel 7, GHS TV. Well, bidding you good night and hoping that you'll be with us again next week, airtime at 7:30 when we come on the air with the West Memphis Red Devil football game right here live from Red Devil Stadium. Good night, everyone.
Good night.